Hello.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome. Sorry we're a few minutes late.
Yeah, sometimes life is late.
Yeah, Ruby, if you have the birthdays, maybe we could go into the birthdays because we've got a lot of guests coming on tonight.
Yeah, we'll get right to the birthdays.
And this is still August, so we're doing the August birthdays. And Marissa said, "Thank you for my birthday card." You're welcome, Marissa. And let's see, Sherlock 33. Hello, everyone. It's Cheryl here. Cheryl from Denver. Seth Coulter. Howdy to my beautiful friends. John Marciano. Okay, here come the birthdays.
Can you see her?
I got it right here. So
Oh,
either way.
No, well,
Okay.
if you can see it, you go ahead.
All right. Yeah, Ruby, if you can make it just a little bigger, we got old eyes. Okay, thank you. Okay, birthdays. August 2nd, Richard Quinn Wright was 40 years old. Also, August 2nd, Aaron Hawkins. Want to keep going?
Yes, please.
August 3rd, Angela Carvalho and Marilyn Hopkins. August 4th, Jeannie Chestnut. August 6th, Jamie Bond, James Ward, James Polaris. August 8th, Vinnie Similia and Joe's sisters, Patty Lieber and Chris Hamo. They're twins. August 11th, Linda Jean Day. August 12th, Michael Shemwell. August 13th, Bob and Jordan Smalls. August 14th, Elise Torres. August 15th, Yvonne Samilia. August 15th, William Bowen. August 19th, Sal Guzman. August 21st, Anthony Malfino and Jimmy Price. August 22nd, Celeste Norford and Carol Ballard. August 23rd, Fred Lidbetter, Gail Kelly, and Evan Sullivan. August 24th, Effie Joe. August 25th, Rochelle Umi. August 26th, Marissa Gowan. August 27th, that's today, Halima Farnsworth. August 28th, Aaron Schoon. August 29th, Brooke Rays. And the 31st is Bray Lee Down. Happy birthday, it's either Donnie or, how would you say it? D-O-N-N-E, Donnie?
I don't know.
Don? I'm not sure how to say it. I'm sorry.
Don
Don.
or Donnie.
Thank you. All right. Lots of happy birthdays. Do we have the happy birthday song? Sorry, Ruby. And then we have the anniversaries.
Yeah, I'll do the. This month, anniversaries, August 11th, Fen Yang and Rochelle Umi. And then August 15th, Bob and Isabel. August 26th, Brian and Indira Brown, 30 years. August 31st, Pete and Cindy Pinella, Fran's brother and sister-in-law. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, everyone. And we have a song for that, too.
Welcome again, friends. And we just always want to thank everybody for coming and for being here for the purpose of basically inspiring each other. Now, we don't expect anything magical, but yet there is something special when people are doing something, when individual is doing everything that they can to help their situation, because it inspires others to do everything they can to help their situation. And then it even helps each other to realize how we can do it more.
Mhm.
It helps us to improve our perception of things, to have a better attitude about things, and to realize that we're not alone. We are simply not alone in the difficulties that we go through, nor are we alone in the nice things that we can share. In other words, the nice things that we may see, we can share them. And there are others out there that they really, really need to have some nice things shared with them. They really do.
And we don't want to forget Vern and Shauna.
No, my
They're
goodness.
also helping us do this. They're both sick tonight, so
Yeah.
Ruby is going to be the moderator and bringing everyone on. So we want to give our regards to Vern and Shauna. We hope they
Yeah.
feel better,
Yeah.
and we truly appreciate everything that they're doing for the community.
Yeah. It's hard to know each other's struggle, but we can at least acknowledge that it's something that's it's very real, and we're there. We're there if need be to help.
Let's see. Let's see. We've got some time. Either Seth can come on and show us his
Whoever would like to. Yeah.
protest, or we can do the 10-minute video. What would you like to do?
Is Seth ready?
That's what I was asking. I don't know.
Seth,
Ruby is, yes. Oh, there he is. He's ready. Okay.
There's Seth.
Seth and Dakota.
Seth and company. Hello,
We're
Dakota.
halfway
Hi, Seth.
ready. We
Oops,
have
no volume, no sound, Seth.
no sound. Let me try this again.
I think.
Can you hear me now?
I
No?
can hear you, Seth. Joe and Fran, can you hear us?
I can hear you, Ruby.
Yes, but I can't hear Seth. We can't hear Seth.
Nothing from me.
I can hear
Nothing at
Seth,
all.
but for some reason you guys can't hear him, so I don't know.
That's interesting.
Hi,
You want us to-
baby.
You want us to go off and come back on?
Try that. Yeah,
Okay.
try coming right back.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. Not you, Bubba. Can everyone at home hear me? Maybe by chance?
Yes.
comment?
Okay, so San
Okay,
Diego
yeah, I
says they
see
can
that.
hear you.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. How's everyone doing tonight? We'll wait for Joe and Fran to come back, I guess.
Yes. How are you guys?
Doing good. It's good to hear from you, Ruby. It's been a
Nice
while.
to see you guys.
We had a bout of
too.
sickness in our family that took us 3 weeks to get over. It was rough, really rough, but we got through it. So
Are you better now?
we're better now. We feel
Oh, good.
well. We're mostly better.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, there they go. Hey guys, can you hear us?
Hi, Joe. Hi, Frank. Can you hear me?
We
Okay,
can hear
now,
everybody.
Can you hear
Awesome.
us?
Yes,
Sure.
we can. All right, have a good show, guys. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you, Ruby.
Sorry, Ruby. One more thing. The
Yep.
title. Yeah, the title's wrong because whenever we come back on, it shows an old title. All right.
Okay,
thank
so
you.
your title is Anger.
Anger.
I'm not interested.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Me
All
neither,
right,
but
thanks,
it happens,
Ruby.
huh?
So, Seth, you and Felicia and Dakota were at a protest, and if you
Yes, we live in Convention City for our area, and we were thinking about it. It's a special opportunity for us here in Springfield. We're in Springfield, Missouri. We have 2 or 3 conventions here. We have all the assemblies here. Everything happens here in a rented facility downtown, less than a mile away from our house.
Wow.
So, we decided, hey, why don't we get out there and show some love? I'm a bus driver, so every morning I would pass them setting up, and it just said, oh, my heart went out to those stuck. we were there. I was a company man for the JW organization, as you guys know, and I would give them everything. If they asked for it, I'd give it. If they'd asked for my life, I would have given it for them because I was a company man for the JWs. Okay, Bubba. And so we decided to take this special opportunity, and we see a lot of protests, and I was especially inspired by Vern on fixing my faith. I saw how he was holding a positive message, holding signs up at Kingdom halls and assembly halls, and it was a positive message, and that got Felicia and I thinking about positivity. And we see protests all the time. All of us have been to conventions probably where there were some sort of protest, and it was very negative. It was Watchtower does this, and you hate this, and true, that's it, true information. But it's something I would have ignored as a witness, even though I may have been questioning something. I would have ignored it.
Yeah.
What I would not have ignored is a positive message. And so we decided to create a YouTube channel. We decided to start with positive messages. And so I think we have a video queued up here.
If we can play your video that you sent us.
Absolutely. Felicia holding her sign. I've got mine.
There's money.
Advertising ExJWFriends.com. Here, how many people have we talked to today? Quite a few, huh? Yeah, we've engaged a few. We've talked to them.
Tremendous.
And they've talked to us. It's kind of thinned out here a little bit, but you can see all the yellow jackets over there. So we're going to call them from now on the yellow jackets. But we're taking the friendly approach. My sign says it's okay to have questions and to leave. You have support. ExJWFriends.com, and Felicia is smiling. Hi, guys. All these people leaving the convention. We got our boy here. We need to make a boy-size sign for him. Tape it to the front of his stroller there. That'd
Give him
cute.
a megaphone.
But we're letting all these friends know. We've walked through
give
crowds
Dakota
of people.
a
We've
megaphone.
talked to several. How you feel about this effort? Good. We're trying to let people know it's okay to question and it's okay to leave, right?
Yes.
All right. Because we're not evil, are we? I didn't think we were. So anyway, that's what we're doing today and tomorrow. And again, next weekend, we're going to do our very best to let people know they have support.
Give him a megaphone.
That's
beautiful. You got to give Dakota a megaphone.
I don't think he needs one. He is so loud.
That's tremendous.
He is a megaphone. In fact,
beautiful.
it really helped having him out there. Everyone wanted to say hi to the baby. So that gave him an extra moment to read our sign. He was singing gospel music out there.
Hi, guys.
He was having a blast telling everyone hello. But the thing is, we got so many good responses from holding up positive signs, and I made 4 or 5 different signs, front and back, with different sayings, and I'll post some of those later on. But there's another one. ExJWFriends.com. As you can see behind us, we have some elders there and some attendants trying to stop us. But we're out here sharing a great message, a positive message.
We've got
that's the thing.
I got to tell you, we've got a good friend that we always talk with. He's an older brother, and he what he says is we've got to help them wake up and smell the coffee. In other words, something attractive for them to wake up to. And that's what you're doing. You're doing that.
And that's precisely the thing. And the response we got from it, I actually expected nothing. I go in expecting nothing. I called you guys the morning that I was kind of thinking about doing this and approaching some. I think that was Thursday morning, their setup morning. Mm-hmm. And I was wondering if I could engage some of those and tell them, hey, we just went to our convention. And I did just that. I told them, hey, our convention was really good. Oh, what congregation you in? Well, we're not associated with a congregation, but let me tell you, our convention was amazing. And so they asked what it was. And I told them it was the ExJW. But I never neglected to, and Felicia and I, we never neglected. He's happy. We never neglected to tell them about ExJWFriends.com and let them know there's a community out there. My sign for the first day that I was out there talked about it's okay to question and it's okay to leave. And I had a lady actually stop. She read the sign and she says, I actually have a lot of questions.
Wow.
And so, I mean, there were so many small interactions we had with a great, people smiled. People were happy to see a sign that said smile. Don't know if they read the whole thing, but you could tell there were a lot of, I mean, I think Rick Farron was saying there's something like 4 million PMOs, perhaps 45 to 50% are actually PMOs.
Yeah, I believe it. I bet more.
I believe it too.
I think
I
more
believe that
PMO
too.
than are in. Yeah.
You know
And
what?
so that actually gives them an opportunity, if they can in private, to look at a friendly website, because you always hear evil apostate, so they're evil. Don't look. And likely, as like I said, as a company, JW myself, I would never have looked at those signs.
No.
But as a friendly one, how can you miss that? How can you not take that opportunity to be happy?
Yeah.
So it was great.
What really impresses me with Seth and Felicia and Dakota, they've only been out very recently.
Yeah, we left at the Felicia left at the end of 2023, and I left in January of 24. So
it's only like a year. It's amazing. And you're doing it alone. I mean, you're not waiting for like 15, 20 people to join you in the protest.
No. That was difficult. Felicia and I, we could say that we were like, oh man, I just wish we knew more people. I wish we knew more. And but you know,
let's put a word out. If there's anyone near Springfield, Missouri, now you're going again this coming weekend, right?
We'll be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, weather permitting. I mean, it's going to storm here a little bit, I think.
A lot of them here tend to hide. I don't know why.
We do have a little bit of an ExJW community here that we have known. A lot of them tend to shut, and that's okay. That's okay if they take another route. That's what we talk about all the time on this channel. You heal your own way. And you don't have to follow anybody else's commands. You do you. Yeah. And
the other thing go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
No. That's
I was just
the
going
point.
to say the other thing. You just started your own YouTube channel.
We did. We're going to be sharing some personal stories, some life stories. In fact, with this YouTube channel, we're going to focus on positivity. There's a lot of ExJW channels that tear down some. So the name is ExJW Coulters because our last name is Colter. So which is kind of a play on our name, our last name, ExJW Coulters. And it's just we're going to focus on positivity, maybe helping. Yeah, there's a good description of it, you know, how we started our journey. We're going to post some content on there. Maybe if we can just help one person, if one person hears something, if we can help one person, every bit of the effort is worth it.
You're right.
It's okay to leave high control. It's okay to leave a cult. And so that's
everyone.
We would love if everyone would like and subscribe because that's going to help us get to more people. Again, content will come.
We were the first ones to subscribe.
And we were so happy. We're so happy about that.
Okay, everyone, what a blessing. Subscribe. And again, it's ExJW Coulters because their last name is Coulter. It's spelled differently. But it's a play on words. It's excellent. Everyone subscribe to.
If you don't, the baby will never make an appearance again. No. But we would love if everyone would. It's our privilege, and if you know any ex-witnesses or questioning anything, please get the word out there. Share this with them. We're hoping to put only positive. There may be a few things we have to talk about kind of negative, but our goal is to be positive.
Yeah. They're looking
and
for
share
it.
stories.
They really are looking. These are people that are trapped in there. They don't want to be there, and they need to know that there's someone to come out to, someone friendly.
You can talk. You're able to talk. You're able to find somebody. There's a big community out there. Again, we're going to address that in a video. When Felicia and I left, we felt so tiny and alone, and our army was gone. It felt so lonely. We didn't know where to turn.
You know,
thank goodness we had each other.
That's
But,
right.
you know,
That's right.
Seth, maybe somehow you can let them know that we're in every state, or we're around the world, or we're global, we're earthwide. There's millions of us. There's something to help open their world up.
I think I would love to collaborate with you guys at some point and come up with some good ideas maybe.
Well, you got the good idea. Well, you've got the best idea so far.
And
I thank you guys so much, and it's a privilege working with you guys and
you too, and
getting
Seth,
the word out there.
Seth, you told us that you have a background in audiovisual
television.
Yes, TV. I did. I worked in TV. I worked in TV news. Wow. I have done commercials and everything. So, wink, wink.
Well, now Rick has too, so he's got some deep insights with that himself. So, I'm sure he'll he and you can have some.
I would like to speak with Rick a little more. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. No.
We're going to share.
We're going to share what you're doing with him, and they'll love to see that. Love to see that.
Yes. New blood.
New blood. That's right.
I didn't want to say it, but it came out.
Well, I like that. I like it. I like it a lot. That's what we said as witnesses. Hey, new blood.
Yeah. No, you guys are tremendous. You add so much to our program, to the ExJW community. And we love Dakota.
Dakota is doing a life-saving work, literally.
That's right.
Literally.
Because he went to the hall. In fact, he was 11 days old for his very first convention.
Wow.
And there were 8,000 people there.
Passing him around.
And passing him around against our wishes. They just come up and took him and passed him around. Well, he ended up in the hospital from getting sick. So it was one of those things. That's something they assumed it was their baby too, and we weren't firm enough. We didn't know how to be firm.
I know.
So it was one of those things. But now he's out too. So
good for you. You did great. Yeah. Good.
Well, maybe we're going to be talking about anger a little bit later and anger management.
Yeah.
So if you have any ideas,
I need that. I know that's one of what I need it.
I'll do. We all do.
Yeah. Any suggestions will be helpful.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We'll jump back on in a little bit. Thank you guys for having us on.
Great work. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Bye. So we have Sarah, the new therapist, coming on anytime you want.
Anytime.
Okay, Ruby, if you want to show that. Oops, wait a minute. I just sent her a message. We have a new therapist, Sarah Schoolcraft. And Sarah was on last week on Rick's program with Stephanie Lynn Carson. And she just newly came on to our ExJWFriends, our therapist list. So
welcome.
If you want to tell a little bit about yourself and anger management.
Which is a very good subject to talk about. How's my volume?
Little low. It's a little low.
Yeah, can you raise the volume?
You usually can't.
Or come closer. Can you come closer?
Yeah.
Or bring the mic closer.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we're gonna. It's a little down.
Is it still low?
Little low.
Going on with my laptop here.
It'll work. It'll work.
I know.
Is that going to work?
Yeah.
I have to climb into the screen.
Project.
All right. So I'm just happy to be here. Thank you for creating this space and everything that you guys are doing. That's it's really amazing. And again, I'm honored to have this opportunity to speak. So I recently in November published my book, my very first book, Beyond
Wow.
Fire, which was an amazing experience, a great journey. Talking about my journey of leaving, being shunned, everything that I went through, which actually ties in great with anger management. My book, Beyond the Watchtower, it was really, it was for, of course, the ex-Jehovah's Witnesses and helping give them, some coping mechanisms, ways to deal with coming out, ways of finding your identity again. But it was also really good to be able to show the world the things that was expected of us. A lot of people have no idea what we were expected to do, especially at such a young age. So,
Hmm.
um, and I even gave a copy to one of my neighbors who watched me grow up as a child, and they read it, and they had no idea. They had no idea that, growing up as a child, what was going on right across the street from them. So my book has brought a lot of um, knowledge to people about what is going on inside. So that's been a big accomplishment.
So, Sarah, how long have you been actually out of the Jehovah's Witnesses?
I was shunned and disfellowshipped at 17.
Wow.
I would say I was still mentally in and still stuck until probably about 25 when I
Okay.
finally made peace and stopped trying to go back, trying to get reinstated. And I
Right.
stuck in that cycle for 7 8 years until finally after my third letter of being denied, I was
Wow.
like, I'm done. I'm not going to beg to come back. So
Wow. 3 times. I'm
three
sure
times.
your story is not unique. Joe just went to the front door. We've got something that just came in the mail
Okay.
from Amazon, and they said they were going to have. I was hoping that we would get it by tonight. So, thank you, honey. Okay, we just got it.
Oh, yay! Talk about timing.
I know. So this is Sarah's book, Beyond the Watchtower, and it looks like an easy read.
It is. It's very easy.
I look forward to reading it. There you
Thank
go.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruby. Yep. So Beyond the Watchtower, if anyone wants to check it out. But okay, so how did you get from? Okay, so you tried to get reinstated 3 times. They didn't allow you to get reinstated. So at that point, you decided you were going to do something different.
Oh yeah, I was done. And then I really dove into my own spiritual journey at that point. Just trying to find where I fit into the world, with this new person and new identity that I was creating. So it took me really down a rabbit hole, you can say. And everybody's path is going to be different in this journey. We aren't all going to end up in the same place. Our path is all different. But that's
Mhm.
the beauty of it. There is no wrong path at this point. We have the freedom to choose whatever we want. So, there's so many options and choices, and there's not a wrong one. There's no wrong answer. Once you get away from, the brainwashing and things they put in your mind, it truly is freedom on a
Yeah.
whole other level.
I like the picture. Oh, thank you, honey. I like the picture of the bird cage, and
The bird
it's
flying out.
the bird is flying out, and there's a key.
Yep.
Obviously, the door is open.
And
'Cause-
there's a key. Yeah.
Because, I felt like I was in a cage with
You
the
were.
door open for so long. I just had to fly out.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
that's the hardest part is
Yeah.
realizing the door is open and you can leave at any time.
Yeah. So true.
Physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever that means for you.
Yep.
So of course, that goes into your topic about anger, because when you leave and you realize, you've been raised in lies, or you've been brought into this based on lies, betrayal, shame, you're going to be angry. That's a natural human reaction, to be angry. But then that leads to a lot of shame. Why am I angry? But then, I found in my therapy that sometimes anger is actually a form of fear. It's actually what I like to call anger. It's fear's armor, because fear is too vulnerable. But we get angry because we feel powerless. We feel like we're not being heard, like we don't have control, like we're going to get abandoned or rejected. So if we get angry, that's our power trying to come back. So it's not about necessarily getting rid of the anger. It's about channeling it into a different source, into a healthy source. And there's so many ways you can do that. You know, whether it's screaming into a pillow, which is very helpful.
Good start. Good start.
I like that.
You know, whether that's taking a walk, movement, but channel it into something good, something healthy, something positive. Because if you don't channel that anger, it's going to turn into psychological, physical, emotional issues. I've seen so many clients that, you know, haven't been able to make peace with issues, and then it turns into anxiety, depression, autoimmune issues. So many people end up at the doctor. Doctors can't tell them what's wrong. They're kind of in that gray area, and they end up on medication for an issue that they don't even know what is, and then you have side effects.
Yeah.
So,
You know, Sarah, what you're saying is so real for us. And there's a saying that craftsmen have. So a good craftsman knows how to fix all his mistakes, or any mistakes. They just know those things. Someone
Right.
else looking at something say, "Oh my goodness, what do I do? This is terrible. What happened? It's ruined." The craftsman says, "It'll be okay. We'll take care of it. Here's what we're going to do."
yes.
They know all the options. They've studied all the options. They've practiced all the options. They focused on all those, and that's, like you said, we need to channel that energy on solutions,
Yes.
which is something most people have not done. Because
And
usually when anger strikes, they're surprised. They're
Mhm.
they're surprised and caught off guard.
Mhm.
Well, now's the time to do some tremendous amount of study and exploration, and that's
Yes.
what we're doing here. And we appreciate your input.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, um,
Can't wait to get my copy of Sarah's book for my library.
Yeah.
Seth
Yeah.
Coulter, yes, that was just on.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank
So
you.
how can we get in touch with you? Let's say someone wants to, use your services as a therapist. How can we get in touch with you?
So right now I'm not really doing much therapy via online.
Okay.
That's something that I am going to start doing. I see so many people in person though. I haven't got to explore that yet. But of course, you know, I am open to helping anybody, questions, resources.
Okay,
They can
there's your
email.
email. Yep.
Yes, they can email me. They can reach out that way. Of course, you know, my book has a lot of coping mechanisms, a lot of resources. But
fabulous.
I'm happy to provide any kind of help. And then soon I will have online courses, online sessions, things like that.
Great.
And let's
Great.
see. So are you in the state of Connecticut?
I'm in West Virginia.
Oh, that's right, West Virginia. That's right. So yes. Okay, you're going to be working with Will. We're going to have Will on a little bit about the other subject that we're going to be talking about
Okay.
with the legislature.
Oh yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. With the Justice for All. Yes,
Yes,
actually,
justice for all. Yeah.
that's a new role I've taken on as the lead advocate here in West Virginia, and I
Wow.
tell you, I've made some amazing progress already. I've got several delegates that are
Wow.
interested in helping with this here in West Virginia.
Wow, that's great. Well, Will and Stephanie are going to be coming on a little later to talk about that project.
Okay.
We've, well, let's see, I don't know if you want to do that. We've got the attorney, the investigators coming in at 8
Right.
o'clock.
Right.
Did you want to show a little bit of that
Yeah.
video?
A little bit of
Yeah,
video.
we've got a video, Sarah, that we wanted to show. If Ruby's able to bring it
It
up.
highlights some of the tragic problems that Watchtower made for people.
Oh, the list goes on and on.
Well, this is the one that we weren't part of. It was in 75. Um, and
Leading up to
leading-
75, yeah.
Yeah, and what happened, how people got caught up in that. And that's what this one video is about. And it's apparently it's an account by a child who went through it at the time. It's powerful.
Okay, yeah, so we'll watch a little bit of it.
It's 38 minutes long, but we'll just see some of it here.
My name is Charles Thompson. I was born in the south side of Chicago, Illinois, in 1963. Today, at 62 years old, with trembling hands and tired eyes, I sit down to write what I have kept silent for decades out of shame, pain, and a mixture of rage and sadness that still burns in my chest. This is the story of how my parents, Margaret Elaine and Robert Thompson, lost everything waiting for the end of the world that never came. It's the story of how an entire family was destroyed by a lying prophecy, and how I, my sister Hope, and my two younger siblings, Matthew and Lucy, grew up among the ruins of that betrayed hope. My parents had converted to Jehovah's Witnesses in 1968, when I was barely 5 years old. I vividly remember the day when two well-dressed women, Martha and Helen Johnson, knocked on the door of our small apartment on 47th Street. My mother, a woman with a noble heart who always sought answers to the questions life posed to her, received them with the typical hospitality of our neighborhood. Those women spoke with a certainty that my mother had never heard before. They had answers for everything. Why there was suffering, why good people died young, why the world seemed to be getting crueler every day. My father, Robert, was a hard-working man who worked as a mechanic at Miller's Auto Shop on the West Side. He earned just enough to support us, but we were happy. On Sundays we went to Grant Park. My mother cooked pot roast that filled the entire building with its aroma, and in the evenings my father told me stories while fixing some appliance at the kitchen table. We were an ordinary family from 1960 Chicago, with ordinary dreams. That the children would study, that we could have our own little house someday, that old age would find us peaceful and surrounded by grandchildren. But all that changed when my parents began studying the Bible with Jehovah's Witnesses. At first, the changes were subtle. My mother stopped putting up Christmas decorations. My father no longer took us to Cubs games on Sundays because they had to attend meetings at the Kingdom Hall. Little by little, our house filled with Watchtower and Awake magazines, and our family conversations increasingly revolved around Bible verses and the teachings of Jehovah's organization. I remember that my sister Hope, who was 8 then, once asked why we could no longer celebrate her birthday. My mother, with tears in her eyes but with a firmness I had never known in her, explained that Jehovah did not approve of those pagan celebrations. Hope cried that night, hidden in our shared bedroom, and I, without fully understanding what was happening, comforted her as best I could. In 1970, when rumors about 1975 began circulating more strongly, my parents were already completely immersed in the congregation. My father had been appointed as a ministerial servant and my mother was a regular pioneer, dedicating more than 90 hours monthly to door-to-door preaching. It was as if they had found not just a religion, but a completely new identity. But it was in 1972 when everything precipitated toward the abyss. I remember perfectly the day my father came home from work with an expression I had never seen before. It was a mixture of ecstasy and terror, as if he had seen something supernatural. He sat at the kitchen table, took my mother's hands and told her with a trembling voice, "Elaine, sister, the time has been shortened. The most mature brothers in the congregation are certain that Armageddon will come in October 1975. We have less than 3 years to prepare." My mother paled, but then smiled with that smile she had learned to use when talking about spiritual matters. "If Jehovah has so arranged it, Robert, we will be ready." That night, after sending us to bed, I heard them talk until very late. Their voices came muffled to our room, but I could catch fragments of a conversation that would change our lives forever. "We can't be selfish, Elaine."
What if you can create your own website?
"If we only have 3 years left, every minute counts. The children need to know the truth. There's no time for worldly plans." From that moment on, our house became an operations center for the end of the world. My father began declining overtime at the auto shop. Why accumulate riches if soon money won't exist? he told my mother when she worried about pending bills. He stopped saving for the little house they had been planning. Moreover, he began talking about selling the apartment we lived in, which they had bought with so much effort years before. My mother abandoned the small sewing business she had at home. The neighborhood ladies no longer came looking for her to have dresses altered or curtains made. My time now belongs to Jehovah, she explained when some client insisted. The few extra dollars that work brought to the family vanished overnight. But the most painful thing to witness was how my parents began to change their relationship with us, their children. My brother Matthew, who was brilliant at mathematics, had always dreamed of being an engineer. He was barely 12 years old, but already showed exceptional ability to solve problems and build things with his hands. My father, who before had been proud of Matthew's good grades and encouraged him to study, began telling him that it made no sense to waste time on the wisdom of this condemned world. In the new system, son, Jehovah will teach you everything you need to know. Why are you going to study engineering if in 3 years universities won't exist? Matthew resisted at first. I remember seeing him cry silently while doing homework, knowing that our parents considered every minute dedicated to secular studies as time stolen from Jehovah. Little by little, his grades began to decline. Not because he was less intelligent, but because at home there was no longer support, no incentive, no future to prepare for. My sister Hope, who had always been extroverted and sociable, was isolating herself from her school classmates. She could no longer participate in school festivals, couldn't go to birthday parties, couldn't talk about the topics that interested girls her age because the world and its diversions had been declared enemies in our home. I saw her become taciturn, responding with monosyllables when I asked her how her day at school had been. Lucy, the youngest, who was barely 6 years old, absorbed everything like a sponge. She began repeating phrases she had heard at meetings. The children in my school are going to die in Armageddon because they don't know Jehovah. I heard her say this to a little neighbor girl with the same naturalness with which she might have commented on the weather. The girl's mother complained to my mother, and there was a terrible argument in which my mother defended Lucy's words, saying it was Christian courage to speak the truth regardless of consequences. As for me, who was then 9 years old, I began developing a constant fear that accompanied me day and night. My parents constantly talked about the signs of the end: earthquakes, wars, food shortages. Every news story in the Chicago Tribune became confirmation that Armageddon was near. I developed a pathological anxiety toward any loud sound, any ambulance siren.
Okay, thank you, Ruby.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's just a little
That's
bit.
just the beginning. That's the setup of the situation. It becomes deeper and deeper and more
It's just so sad.
destructive. It gets very sad, and it gets angering, very
And this is
enraging.
why people are angry and dealing
There's,
with issues.
you know, they absolutely should be. If they're not angry, something's wrong with them.
Right.
That they stole their children's lives, their future, their dreams,
Um,
and they didn't
Yeah.
apologize for it.
no, they didn't apologize, and they won't apologize.
So, yeah,
No.
if you're waiting for an apology,
Yeah.
don't hold your breath.
Ruby, if Kathy Thomas is backstage, there's Joel. Hi, Joel.
Hello, Joe.
Hello.
And I think Max is coming on. Sarah, just to introduce you to Joel, if you don't know, he's one of the investigators
Okay.
that's working on the case for the ex-Jehovah's Witnesses with the CSA.
Okay.
He was in Tewksbury. We met Joel in person, and he's going to talk with, I think Max is coming on. They're going to talk about the investigation and how it's going. So if you want to drop backstage, Sarah, and stick with us.
Okay.
And then Lady C, she wants to come on just for a few minutes.
Hi, Lady C.
We got a lot of folks on. Okay, you
Welcome.
got to turn on your mic, Kathy.
Oh yeah. Hey, how you guys
you're on.
doing?
Good.
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 Yeah.
So
I
the
was-
topic is anger management. And we know that you've been out for a while and you've talked to a lot of people. Any tips for the folks before we go to Joel?
What, on anger management?
Yeah. After
Well,
coming out of the watchtower.
Yeah, you know what? The only thing I did, well, I really wasn't angry. I was more happy that I was aware of what I had been through, and I began to understand why I didn't care for, being at the congregation, because everyone, they just didn't live up to this name of love that they said they had, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the best thing that people can do is to get to know themselves and where they're trying to go, and try to pick up the pieces of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Once you find out, where you've been, you try to figure out where you're going, because everybody has time. Now you have time, because you're no longer going to meetings. You're no longer, being stuck in this religion telling you what you can and cannot do. So the best thing for me, the way I dealt with my situation, I dealt with it because I realized that now I could start building a future in a real life.
Yeah.
And people really have to realize that once they have that mindset that they can get out of this religion, now you have plenty of time to start, getting your life back on track. And I mean, and it doesn't make a difference how old you are, you know. So that's how I dealt with mine. And then I was younger coming out, so it might have been a little bit easier because I looked at myself as like, well, I got more time ahead of me.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do know that there's a lot of people that don't, and my father is one of those people.
Mm-hmm.
And but when he wasn't raised in this religion, so but as an older person leaving, for him, he was just glad to be free. He was like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad to be out that religion. I don't know what to do. Then he got baptized at 50.
Wow.
And he came in after being in the military, full career and all that. So he didn't have a lot to be angry about because he didn't lose out on that.
That's
So for him, it was like, but he still felt like they treated him so bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just getting out from under that negativity, being in Watchtower, is probably what helps a lot. What will help a lot of people. You know.
And that's where your channel has helped so
Oh
much.
yeah,
Where
absolutely.
the ones previous to this, the people, for example, that went through 75, they never had the benefit of someone like you guys who were providing so much exchange and insight and awareness. And at this point, those people are, for example, the child that went through 75 is in his 60s now. And they carry with them some very deep situations. They've lived through things. I don't know if you just saw the part of that video, but the video goes on to explain what happened to every one of those individuals, and for most of them, it wasn't good. It just was not good.
Yeah, it did not.
They didn't
end up
have
well.
any. They didn't have anything around them as a safety net. They just didn't have any safety net.
Wow. Yeah, that's what JT always says about people who left back in the day, that didn't have the Ray Fran's book, didn't have the online connections and things like that.
Didn't have anything.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yep.
Everybody loves you, and you can see the comments coming up how they appreciate your program. And
you've helped so many.
JT, and it was really nice meeting you in person when we were in Washington D.C.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for
I wanted
coming
to come on here and support you guys tonight because you guys were with us the other night. So I said I got to return the favor and come up here and say hey. But yeah, I'm getting ready to drop a video tonight myself anyway. But yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me on. Okay.
Thank you for coming on.
We'll see ya.
Love
See
you
guys.
Bye-bye. Okay, so next lineup we have Travis Walker, the lawyer, is going to join us with Joel and Max. I think we're as soon as you're ready. Okay, we got all three of you tonight. Thank you for all coming on.
Wow.
Let's see, Max, you're in Western New York, and Joel, you're coming from where?
I am in Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas, and Travis is coming from Florida.
Yes, and Travis, you either have the wrong camera on or you're off camera, but we can't see you. We're just looking at a wall,
And
or you're invisible, which
your
could be possible.
microphone is off, and we see a picture of your nice wall with your picture.
You may have had to step away for a second. But
Yeah,
I can.
that's okay. Well, if you want to start us off, just letting us know the project that you're working on. A lot of people, this is their first time seeing you. So whatever you want to say.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll try to come to a bunch of these and be steadily involved so we can give updates and talk about it and update people on what we're doing who might be new to it. For those of you who don't know yet, my name is Joel Balliot. I run an investigation company. I have a lot of experience in the military and in law enforcement, and am bringing that to the table as a private organization to try to help the ExJW community.
I could find a way.
Looks like Travis is having technical challenges. Where was I? So I'm not an ExJW. I didn't know anything about the JWs or the Watchtower at the beginning of this year. Other than that, they're probably the people who knock on doors that most people don't want to let in and talk. I've learned a lot this year. It continues to be a growing and learning experience. One of the things I started finding out early on is there's a lot of people who have been hurt through many generations, and it has been, from what I've been told repeatedly, it's been covered up systematically, and those people are not getting justice either in criminal courts or in civil courts on average. Can you hear us now, Travis?
Yeah, you just, there you go. Want to say something, Travis, so we can hear if you're on? Let's see, you have to turn off the YouTube if you're on YouTube. You can only have one device on. We see you.
All right, perfect. Now,
There you go.
Hey.
There you go. Okay, you're all here. Thank you very much for coming on.
thank
We
you.
believe in you, Travis. You've mastered StreamYard. It's all downhill from here.
It's 8:00 p.m. I've accomplished my major goal for the day. I'm ready to go to bed.
It's a big one. It's a big one.
Thank you.
I was just kind of giving a little bit of an introduction, Travis. So as Joe and Fran said, we met them in Tewksbury. I often say Boston. I don't know where Tewksbury is on the map, even though I've now been there. But we were there, and we showed up in person to meet people in person and find out more about this community and how we can help. So we've been listening to stories and onboarding cases throughout the year. It's been, as I said, it's been a learning experience, both what has happened to the people such as yourselves, and also a learning experience of how we can potentially help. And will continue to be a learning experience on both ends. So we're here to learn, but we're here to help. Part of that learning experience is earlier on, we were doing a very low visibility investigation, which is how we typically work. And that continues to be the case, but we stepped to the forefront, a few of us, to be a public face to the investigation, because in order to help, some of us have to be kind of out here talking about it and doing stuff about it. So part of what we've been doing is, since March, when I originally told Travis about this, we've been working together on a solution for how can we get justice at scale, which can be challenging because there's a lot of people involved, a lot of perpetrators involved, a lot of victims involved, a lot of history involved, different timelines, but we're figuring it out. So as part of that, Travis and I have started a new law office called Trafficking Survivors PLLC. That is a partnership between the investigation side, which is IGI, me and my team, what we bring to the table, which includes Max. Max works for me. And Travis and his team, which is an established law office. They specialize in trafficking survivors and sexual abuse cases and mass tort cases. And I'll let him speak more to that. But so this is still somewhat behind the scenes. It's a real office. It exists, and we can file cases with it now. But we've been working up to that because we want to work in partnership on this so that we can provide the best service possible and achieve the best outcome possible in what is a worldwide case. And we'll continue to grow and learn on it. So some of you who have already started cases with us, meaning talked to Max, who were then referred to Travis, and you started a case with us, we'll be filing those cases as Trafficking Survivors PLLC. It is specifically for this type of ecosystem. So there'll be probably some paperwork changes with that, but I want you all to know it's all the same people. We're not selling your cases. We're not selling your data. We're trying to figure out the best way to help you, and it's a learning experience. Travis, did I sort of say that correctly? I hope.
I got nothing to add. You nailed it.
So thanks. I don't know. So one of the things that's important to us, because of the learning that we've been doing this year, and the meeting of XJWs, we've discovered that trust is a huge issue, and we understand it. I grew up in not a JW community, but a similar type of family where I was told I couldn't trust government, couldn't trust law enforcement, couldn't trust doctors, couldn't trust psychologists, couldn't trust the school system. In fact, I couldn't trust anyone that was outside of my family, essentially.
Wow.
And so I know what it's like to grow up where you don't know what's true, and the main thing that you've been told is true is that you can't trust anyone. And so part of our response to that in trying to provide good service on the way to providing a good outcome is to have a personal connection with each and every one of you that we're trying to help. That is challenging as we continue to get more and more people that hear about what we're doing and want to come on board, but we're committed to it. Right now, Max is the face of the franchise in that respect. He is personally reaching out to everybody and responding to everybody that wants to be a part of going after justice on both the criminal and the civil side, if and where appropriate, which is a lot of places from what I understand. And as we transition cases from the initial screening, where we're trying to get the basic facts of the case without re-traumatizing survivors, because we know it can be very traumatizing to talk about these things. We're trying to get the basic facts of the case, make sure that you have a case that we believe can be proven in a court of law. And I say that specifically, no, don't despair. A lot of stuff that you may think couldn't be proven can be. And I've talked to a lot of survivors who are like, I don't think I really have a case. I can't remember all the details. Don't worry about that. Let us help you work through that. Don't rule yourself out. And don't rule yourself out because it was a long time ago. There's a lot of nuances that can help in that respect. But we screen the case. We try to make sure that we think that we can help you. And then we refer the case to Travis so that he can start filing the legal paperwork. I am a partner in the law firm, but I'm not a lawyer. I'm a non-lawyer partner. And Max is not a lawyer. So there's only so much of the journey that we can do with you in terms of service to get you justice before we have to get lawyers involved, like Travis and his team. And then they will have other paperwork for you to file. We're trying to streamline the process so we're not having you do the same thing over again and tell your story over and over again. But there are some hoops that we have to jump through to make it work on the legal front. So then you'll end up talking to Travis's team, and they will do a legal intake of your case. So you actually have a case with us. Then the third step is we have to file it. We have to sue somebody, basically. And Travis may have a fancier word for it, but for me, as a civilian, I'm like, okay, so what you're saying is someone's getting sued here. So for that, paperwork has to be filed. The people that we're suing, which in this case is the perpetrators of the specific crime that happened to you, and those that we believe have vicarious liability, I hope that's the right word, or otherwise responsible for what has happened to you or to covering it up and keeping you from getting justice, we have to name them in the lawsuit. And because they have to find out, hey, I'm getting sued, and so they have a chance to respond. So I know several of you, perhaps on this call, perhaps not, are very eager for that step. We are getting very close to that. We are targeting, I hope I'm not letting the cat out of the bag. We're targeting September 4th for the first of those cases to get filed, and it's becoming real as we speak. I'll pause there. I've been talking a long time. Travis, do you want to take the ball and run with it a little bit?
No, I mean, Joel, and Joe and Franz, thank you so much for what you do for this community. It's amazing. Obviously had a chance to meet y'all in the Boston area. I was honored to meet you, and so grateful for the hard work that you do on behalf of survivors. It's that Joel, Max, and I are all very mission driven, and so it warms our hearts to see people such as yourselves, really put yourselves out there and working hard on behalf of survivors and giving them a venue, a forum in which to speak and to be able to share ideas and everything. And yeah, we're obviously, there's really three things we're going after. And I tell this to the survivors who I do the consults with. First off, we're looking, we're trying to seek compensation for survivors. They've been through some of the most horrible, insidious, evil things. And I mean, if there's anything worse than abusing a child sexually, I don't know if there is. So we're definitely obviously seeking compensation for survivors. The second thing is that we're trying to get them justice where often justice isn't given. The criminal justice system, either law enforcement isn't able to pick it up. They don't listen to them. Something happens. Obviously Jehovah's Witness, the judicial councils is a sick, silly thing. So that's not justice. So we're seeking justice for them when they weren't getting it before. And third, and obviously that's I know is along the same lines of what Joe and Fran, you all are doing, is we're trying to make a difference. We're trying to change this culture, this cult. We're trying to eradicate the ability for pedophiles to thrive and survive in an organization that's basically built for them. The two witness rule. Nobody uses a child in front of a witness. That's completely ridiculous. And then I've talked to survivor after survivor, and I'm sure Max has done, and Max has done such a great job, building relationships with these survivors. He really understands and has compassion for them because they really have gone through some of the most horrific things. But their ability to understand, our ability to understand what they're going through, and try to get them and try to make a change, and that's, I think, the biggest thing we're all looking for is that this evil of this cult and the systems of pedophiles that are there, and it's a complete mockery of what America is about, and it's completely ridiculous. And I can't even tell you. I mean, the fact that someone goes and repents to Jehovah and then is put right back into the fellowship, and then because the other person has the audacity to call out a pedophile, is then disfellowshipped and shunned and made an apostate, I think is one of the worst atrocities I've seen in the 18 years of practicing law.
I have a few questions in the chat here, and if anybody else would like to ask questions, please do. Jane Spitfire said, CSA can be a class action lawsuit.
Yeah, it can be a class action lawsuit, and I believe that there is workings of a class action lawsuit. Our concern is, and we're bringing these cases individually because, and not to get too much into the weeds, but there's class actions, there's what we call mass torts, and then there's what we call single event cases. So class actions are, Bank of America has a breach of confidentiality and everybody gets a $25 check. It's meant that everybody has the same exact type of damages. Like, everybody's information was breached and therefore everybody has the same damages. A mass tort is a little different because everybody has different damages. Max and I and Joel we're talking to people who were 80 years old now, but they were abused when they were 5, and then we have people who, and maybe unfortunately multiple times by multiple people. And then we have other people who were abused just a couple years ago, and it was just once. And so everybody's damages are a little bit differently, but we're bringing these cases on a case-by-case basis, because then, our intent is to hang some big verdicts on the Jehovah's Witness and, make them held accountable and possibly bankrupt them in the situation if that's the possibility.
Great. Travis, question. The witnesses, use this 2 witness rule in their cases. Is it fair to say that this 2 witness rule is also on trial, so to speak?
I think it absolutely is. I mean, if again, it hurts my heart so much to hear the stories of these survivors and the fact that they go to these judicial committees and the elders, and they obviously they're distraught and coming to them with terrible abuse that's occurred to them, and then then the question becomes, well, we need 2 witnesses according to our rules. So absolutely, I 100% believe you're right, Joe, that this 2 witness rule is on trial. It should be abolished, and it needs to go the way of the dodo. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think I'd add some color to that, which is the 2 witness rule. I know the Bible verse that comes from, but the 2 witness rule is, in this instance, this is an invention. This is an invention. There's nothing in the U.S. legal system that says, oh, well, you have to have 2 witnesses for it to have happened. You don't have to have any witnesses. All you have to have is a jury to believe you. And the same is true on the civil side. And on the civil side, the burden of proof is less. It is based off a preponderance of the facts. But what that means is the jury believes that it in fact happened. Now, here's the thing. So when you're asking, is the 2 witness rule on this, is it on trial? 100%, because the 2 witness rule as presented, as I understand it over and over, and is used as part of this organization over and over, is a corruption of truth.
Yeah.
because it's saying, well, if you didn't have two witnesses, it didn't happen, or it's not what you said. That's a bunch of BS.
Yeah.
That does not mean it didn't happen.
Yeah.
That is crap.
Yeah.
And the fact that it is crap and it has been used over and over to protect pedophiles and to protect the organization is crap. And I believe the organization should be held accountable for
Absolutely.
presenting something that is true and using it as a way to control people and protect predators over and over. That is not true. It is a perpetuated lie that
Absolutely.
needs to be struck down. I'm getting excited here, but yeah, I want to see that point argued over and over in court and have it be proven over and over in court that this is a miscarriage of justice and a corruption of truth at the core of the way this organization handles cases like this. And I think that'll happen. Hopefully, I'm not speaking out of turn, Travis, but that's what I think.
You nailed it.
And the reality is the organization has stood on that. They've stood on that as their powerful justification for what they do.
Yeah.
It wasn't secret. They made it very clear.
And the folks that have been abused, what they're seeking is validation, because, okay, so when they were younger, if they went to the elders, they went to their parents, they did not receive validation.
No.
They told them, you're lying, you're bringing reproach upon Jehovah. And some of these folks went on to take their life because no one listened to them. So Watchtower is responsible for death. That's what
Absolutely.
it comes down to.
Absolutely.
Depression, suicide, the most horrific. And I'm sure you've heard stories. We have heard stories. And so we're here to help them
We truly
get
appreciate
their
what you're doing.
voice. We want to help them get their voice. Yeah.
Yes, that is well said. I can't go back in time and keep someone from taking their own life because they're lied to and gaslit about the abuse that happened to them when they're a child. I can try to get justice for it. I can certainly provide validation for it. So everything that you just said is true. And this is where I go back to the corruption of truth. When you tell a child that what happened to them is not wrong, and they have to try to figure out how to live with that, even though it was very wrong, that can destroy someone. And to your point, has. This is one of the nuances that I want to bring up. So statute of limitations is something that surfaces a lot on cases like these. Listen, if you were a child and you thought something very bad happened to you, and then you went to the religious authorities and the parents in your life, everyone that, as far as you're concerned, knows what truth is, and they told you either A, nothing bad happened to you, or B, it was your fault, what do you not think? Well, you don't think that you have a case, that's for sure.
You're right.
You're either blaming yourself,
Yep.
or you think that nothing happened. And by the way, it doesn't have to be nearly as bad as you might think for it to have definitely been a crime and definitely be something that someone can be sued for. So here's the reason that comes into play. If you don't know that you have a case, if you don't know that you have something to report to the cops, if you don't know you have something that you can sue someone for, I surrender to Travis's judgment if I'm wrong, but I think that can have an effect. It can be an exception for statute of limitations. Is that correct?
No, you nailed it. And obviously, we've got cases across the entire country. I'm stationed. I'm in Florida, but I'm admitted into Washington D.C. I'm admitted to Washington State. But we can go pro hoc vice, which means that we can go into other states on a limited basis and file these cases. And so, obviously, the Watchtower is headquartered in New York. So we anticipate filing a number of cases in New York. But we obviously also know that some states have, very beneficial laws for survivors. Some don't have as much. But what Joel is talking about, we call it the discovery rule. And so it's worth having a chat with us if you've been abused, because there's what we call the discovery rule, which is when did you know or should have known that you had a case? And so also a lot of legislatures are doing what we call look back periods. They're opening up the window to allow for cases to move forward. Also, I do a lot of anti-trafficking work in addition to CSA work, and there's what we call the Trafficking Victims Protection Act. That has a 10-year statute of limitations. that is so, and that even runs from, and it's different if it happened when you were a child or versus when you were an adult. So there are nuances, there are ways. AI is replacing a lot of stuff. I mean, lawyers who are worth their salt are creative. Our job is to understand our client's case, fight for them, advocate for them, and look to find ways to get them the justice that they deserve. And in order for us to do that, with we have to be creative at times in order to get past the statute of limitations issues. The other thing that, and Joel and Max are, have backgrounds in law enforcement, great guys. They're super intelligent. I'm so grateful to be partnered with them. But like, I always talk about, the other thing we often get talked about is like, how are we going to prove this case? Two things. One, when there's a car accident, people aren't often videotaping the car accident. Mm-hmm. What you'll have is one person gets on the stand and raises their hand and says the light was red. The next person comes on the stand and says the light was green, and then the jury has to decide who's telling the truth. So the survivor will come up and, tell their story, and the perpetrator or the Jehovah's Witness will tell their story. And I'll tell you, the survivors I talk to, so credible, so believable. I believe that a jury will definitely to believe them. The other thing, and Joel kind of mentioned about preponderance of the evidence, everyone remembers the O.J. Simpson case, right? Mm-hmm. O.J. Simpson was found not guilty on the criminal level of killing Nicole Brown Simpson. But then later on, he was found civilly responsible for the killing of Nicole Brown Simpson, to the extent that he was actually found bankrupt. He eventually filed bankruptcy because of the civil case, because they held him monetarily responsible because the levels of proof are lower in a civil case. So if you didn't get justice on a criminal level, maybe the prosecutor, who knows what the story was, but maybe they didn't think they had enough for beyond a reasonable doubt. But with a preponderance of the evidence, it's basically a 50-50. And we're ready to fight. We're grateful to fight for these survivors, and we're doers, not talkers, and we're ready to go to war.
Yeah, I'd like to add something to that too. So one of the things I've seen in other bellwether cases that are looked at are past history cases of JW cases and other religious organizations that have done similar things is the playbook. The defensive playbook seems to be discredit, drag out, drain you of all resources, and as a last possible resort, settle for as cheaply as possible and make sure that we get a gag order, speaking from their standpoint. Well, there's a couple things about that. One, now some states, Texas being one of them, they're not allowed to keep you from talking about it as part of a settlement. Wow. That's recent. But the main point that I wanted to make is one of the best ways to defeat that is with overwhelming numbers. There's been a lot of conversation both here and also over the course of the years, like, well, is this a mass tort? Is this a class action? Is it an MDL? What I get from that as being a trained and experienced warrior is basically people asking, how can we band together to win? I am all for that. We don't need to call it a specific type of legal action to band together and win. By banding together and all filing cases that can file cases, it will become a part of the news cycle that is completely unignorable and inescapable, right? And listen, the jury is made up of people who watch the news. Right. If they can't escape the news cycle of all these cases getting filed all over the country, I'm not saying that we've won before we've started, but statistically, cases can be won before they're started when the American public's already made up their mind. I don't think there's anyone on this call that thinks that P. Diddy isn't guilty of something.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I don't think anyone on this call, if Epstein was still alive, they'd give him a pass in court. Right. And that is because of the news cycle. So banding together and all bravely coming forward and filing the real cases that you have makes every single case more believable, because normal people like us have to judge these cases.
Fabulous.
So people might be wondering, so what's it going to cost me if I do this?
So we do all these cases on a contingency fee. It's a classic, accident case. We don't get paid unless we recover for you. There's no out-of-pocket costs. So there's no risk. They're ready to, we believe in these cases. We believe in our survivors. we're ready to put our money where our mouth is and put the hard work into these cases, because Joel's absolutely right. The Watchtower has a tradition of not owning up and taking responsibility for the evil that they do in this world. Don't anticipate they will this time either. These cases can drag out for a while, and distort, delete, and discourage is their game plan. And they're going to hire the big law firms with silk stockings and everything else. But in the end, we're here. We're believers. We believe that God is fighting this fight with us. I've got a bracelet we got the armor. I got the armor of God on, the helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, the belt of truth, the shoes of peace, the shield, and the sword. We're ready to go, so it's going to be a fight, and we understand that. And we obviously have to set expectations for the survivors too, that, this isn't going to be a quick thing. This is going to be a fight. They're going to be nasty. They're going to make this very, very difficult for everybody, but it's not worth it.
And Travis, and this really ties into the strategies for dealing with anger. It's focused strategy and plans. And that's what you truly are laying that out for us, and that helps a lot. That helps a lot for the anger that's in the community.
We have just a few. I was just going to say we have a few minutes, but go ahead, Travis. What were you going to say?
I saw something pop up just now recently, just as well. I think this is from Matthew about where there's one crime, there are many crimes, and one of the great things about Joel and we're part of an organization that's working to eradicate 21st century slavery of human trafficking. And Joel did a great presentation on the RICO work that he's done. And RICO is really, that's how Al Capone went down, right? Tax evasion. So that you go about, finding an organization that's doing crimes and it can be any crime, and you can go after them for RICO. So Joel's an expert on RICO. And so Matthew, thanks for the question. And you've got Joel here, who's a RICO expert, and there's criminal RICO and there's civil RICO, and we're looking into all the options.
Just a few more minutes. We haven't heard anything from Max. So Max, you're the intake person, right? So if anyone is listening in the audience or they watch this video later, how can they contact you, and what should they expect?
Yeah, so I'll put my phone number and my email in the private chat here. If someone could put it in the main chat for me, that would be great.
Yep, Ruby will do that.
So just reach out either phone or email, and then I just talk to people and try to assess what their case looks like. If it has been recent and we can take a criminal approach, obviously that's priority one. A lot of times that's not possible due to the statute of limitations. So that's when we try to get some justice through the civil means. So I do kind of like an intake interview and just ask some questions, see if there's a case there. And if there is, I put together a file and send that over to Travis.
Great. Good. We've got Stephanie and Will coming on next. They're working on another project, but we really appreciate you coming on. Are there any other last thoughts?
Well, thank you so much for what you do. It's the honor of helping out survivors is, and meeting people such as yourselves, Joe and Fran, has been an honor. We're just grateful to have a forum to speak and to serve. So thank you.
Thank you
so
much.
Thank you for coming on.
It's an honor to serve, and I don't want to steal Willow and Will's time, but I do want to tie into the topic for this evening. You hit on it a little bit, anger. So you probably noticed I got a little animated today. That's part of the fire that's inside me. The way that I keep from becoming extremely angry and doing violent things in life is I come up with a plan and I execute every day, and I stay humble about how I can execute better. That's exactly what I'm doing, is because this case makes me mad, and that energizes me. We have a plan. We're executing. We love to have your help. And yes, Joe and Fran, we really appreciate you having us on.
Well, thank
Same
you.
here.
Thank you.
Same
Anytime
here.
you want to come on,
Yep.
the link is the same.
Yep.
We appreciate it.
Thank
Thank you so
guys.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a good day.
Thank
Love
you.
you.
You too. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule.
It's tremendous.
Okay. Yeah. We really appreciate it. We've got a lot of folks wanting to come on, and we appreciate you waiting until we're finished with Will and Stephanie. And let's see, 8:30. They're going to have about 15 minutes. We see Willow, Rose, Grace, Stephanie, Lynn, Carson, and Will. Thank you for joining us.
Will.
Thank you. Everybody's right on time. Boy,
Wow.
this is great.
Holy smokes.
We got the curtain call. We're here, yeah.
And Brian's in the background. Hi, Brian.
Hello,
Don't want to
Brian.
leave him out. There you go. So now your program, your project is called what?
Well, we're doing the Justice for All campaign, which, does include the attorneys and the investigators. Without them, we wouldn't have the momentum to do these other things. And Will, if you don't mind, I'm going to just kind of talk here for a little bit. So Will, I met him at the convention. And as you all know, I've been telling you how Brian and I have been working on legislation to end clergy penitent privilege exemption. And I met Will, and he has experience in the legal field as well, dealing with 9/11. I'll let you talk about that. But I figured we could put our expertise together and help the community in advocating their voices to stir, more legislation initiatives. Go ahead, Will. Tell them about your past or whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, well, the biggest thing about getting like the healthcare pass for the 9/11 responders at the Pentagon was that it was teamwork. Everyone played their part, and I played a pretty small part, but I did help provide leverage. So, but it also didn't happen without Nate, the other guy, the 9/11 guy that really was pushing it for years. And it's a matter of just getting in where we can to help the cause out, And so he had some guys involved with writing legislation. He's involved with writing legislation as well. And I'm behind the curve, but I'm working on learning. It can't be that hard. So one thing I wanted to mention about this evening and having the guys on a minute ago is that to realize it's going to be a very triggering process. Both with doing lawsuits or with playing our part for doing good in the world. It takes voluntary self-sacrifice for the greater good.
Yeah.
And one of the things about getting triggered a lot is having people you can talk to. It doesn't have to be, just someone you can trust a bit. We've all been there. Like I've had to bounce ideas off of people quite a bit the last few years to say, okay, am I being a little bit paranoid here? Should I move forward with this? And a lot of times my own, I was getting in my own way sometimes, my foxhole, my PTSD, maybe getting triggered. And I had to verify, like, instead of thinking negative, I had to verify with folks. So that's one of the biggest things is realize that's going to happen to you, but you're going to get triggered, but we're here. Like, talk to us, bounce ideas off us, not just us, but your friends, anyone. And because it's going to be a hard process. It's not an easy climb out of this cave, if you will.
I just have to put a plug in for your book, Will. I was texting Will. I told him I just finished it today. It's an excellent book. It's of your struggles that you went through and Vicki growing up, how you met each other when you were 16 and how you were apart for 27 years. And then you reunited. But in the meantime, you were in the armed forces. You were with the Army, all the struggles you had there. It's an excellent book. If you haven't read it yet, please get a copy of it. And Will, you also mentioned with this Justice for All that you were also looking for any that were in the military, either ex-Jehovah's Witnesses that went into the military like you did. Can
Definitely.
you just elaborate a little bit on that in case anyone's listening?
Oh, only because we kind of know how the government works and we know how to be a part of a team. That's one of the things military service teaches you is that we're all part of a team. Nothing happens without the other elements. Like for the war fighters, you're looking at a very small percentage of guys that actually fight downrange, less than 10%, far less than that, even with the convoy actions. And, but so you got, 90+% of the military supporting the war fighters, like, so none of, and every single aspect is just as important as the next. So people that and with military service too, sometimes we can get some legislators' attention as well. So that comes in, and that's mostly is just we're trying to get people that have experience in working this and dealing with the government a bit.
So if either you or Stephanie can talk about justice for all, you're looking for different ones in each state. You want someone to be a captain. You want to elaborate a little bit on that?
Sure. So we've got the Will's trying to find the people with the military background, but in addition to that, we want just good-hearted advocates. Those of us that have come out of the cult that want to help. Whether you're a survivor and you're coming forward with your lawsuit with Travis, Joel, and Max, or working with them on reporting other types of crimes. Or not, like Fran and Joe, you two are playing your part in this as well. So what we're looking to do is Pennsylvania, Brian and I meet with Representative Nate Davidson coming up on the 9th of September. He more than likely, we pretty much have a yes that he will be writing the legislation to reverse the loophole of clergy penitent privilege exemption, the secrecy that is actually unconstitutional and goes against our First Amendment rights, right? And then we are looking to have captains in the other states, whether it's a survivor that's filing their case or advocates that will write letters and petition their local lawmakers, whether it's the state level lawmakers or those within their state that have been elected to represent the state at the federal level. So we're looking to get attention both nationally and pockets, if not hopefully in all the states, but pockets of states that will maybe write this. So we're looking like we might have some good luck coming up in West Virginia. So we do already have a captain there. We have captains in Virginia that are working on this, and I'm speaking with some others. So the point is, if you want to get involved in real cultural change, legislation change, Will and I are your people, and we want to help you to use your voice in a manner that the government will listen to. We have to keep it factual. We have to keep it we have to hit the target too. It's sad of the things that happened to us, but how did our abuse affect them? So, in delivering the message. So, we're looking to expand and to use the momentum behind the forces of, Joel and Max, the investigation, all these lawsuits to stir that cultural change. So come on, come on, let's do this.
So we
Right, Will?
earlier
Yes,
we
ma'am.
I was just going to say earlier we had Sarah Schoolcraft, and she's going to be helping with West Virginia,
Yes,
right?
yes,
And I think you mentioned Thomas from Kansas is going to
yes.
be helping. So writing these letters, I know you mentioned that you had Don on your program
Mm-hmm.
on Six Screens. Stephanie has every other week now. You're doing a program with Rick Fearon, and Don came on, and he's going to help like writing some of the letters or giving them
Right. So,
format.
yeah, because this is new for all of us. So, if we could have like a template made up is something that we're working on. Not that we want you to copy the letter exactly. And we
Right.
definitely don't want to do this in the Jehovah Witness style and bombard,
Right.
one office with letters upon letters upon letters. We want to be strategic. We want to do our investigation into, who is going to be favorable within the government. There's those that want to protect the children, and then those within our government that are harming our children. So we have to make sure that we're hitting the right targets, and that's not a right issue, and that's not a left issue. That's an American issue. So we will be working with Democrats and Republicans, both sides of the aisle.
Jane Spitfire has a question. Anyone contact Religious Freedom Foundation about this issue? Are you familiar with that?
I have not.
Okay.
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Also Seth in Missouri, he's interested in helping out too.
Yes, I've sent him a text message. I'm just waiting for a response. So
Okay, he was on earlier.
yes.
Yep. And Will, any other comments?
No, I think that, yeah, that pretty well covers it. We obviously don't expect to get people in every state, but the point is to get some going, just like, get it in the public sphere, right? Because you get a few more states on board, like in Pennsylvania, then that gives more press coverage, and it's all a snowballing effect, right? This is playing the long game. This is not checkers. This is chess.
Yeah.
Like 5D chess too.
Yeah, right,
Mhm.
exactly. Yeah.
If
And
anyone, we had a lot of people that wanted to come on earlier, and I guess we can open up the lines now. We can have people come on. There's Seth and Felicia. Do you have a question, Seth? And Sarah's back
And
with
Sarah.
us. Yeah, and Fallen Ashes. Thank you for being so
Fallen
patient.
Ashes.
Anyone have a question for Will or Stephanie Willow Rose?
I'm interested in helping.
Awesome. Where are you located?
New York.
New York.
New York
Okay.
State.
I think we're friends on Facebook, so let's connect and I'll get you
No
my phone
question,
number.
but I'm returning your text message. Oops. I forgot about
That's all
that.
right.
Yeah, I'll get your phone
put you
number.
on blast. Okay, yeah. So I'll send it to you or get it from Fran and Joe, and then we will talk, and we'll talk about how to advocate and use your voice. I think New York's
Thank
definitely
you.
ripe for this, so that'd be
And I
awesome.
also talked to Max too as well.
Wonderful. Good news to hear.
I'm going to get a call from him this week as well.
Okay.
And
so
I feel very overwhelmed, not going to lie, because this topic, it just breaks my heart. And I just think about my trauma. So I if you see me cry, I'm just, yeah.
We are here to cry with you and to be
Yeah.
strong with you.
Yeah,
So
this is overwhelming.
It is overwhelming. And thank God we have, or whatever your spirit creature is, thank goodness we have each other to do this together with. Thank you for being
Thank you.
brave. Thank you
Thank
for
you
being
for you
brave.
guys.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a good connection with Fallen. We've met her several times, and we really love Fallen.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming forward and wanting to help.
Love it. Love it. Thank you. Yeah, we're going to really create a movement, aren't we, Sarah? That's what you called it the other day.
Yes, we are. It's going to be a big movement. There's so much passion. I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
Let's see. We've got Brian. Brian also, did you want to say something, Brian?
Hello. Yes. First, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to just make a point about something. The amount of emphasis they put on the two-witness rule, kind of feels like that other scripture about it's better for a millstone to be around a person's neck and tossed into the sea instead, rather than them being stumbling a little one. It seems like that scripture seems just like a placeholder, because when a person isn't allowed to be heard, it seems like that can stumble them. And how many people have come out of the organization because of that?
Right.
So why isn't that scripture being given consideration?
Mm-hmm.
That was my comment.
Thank you.
Yeah, the point is the point goes for all of us. Thank you, Brian, that we need to open up our thinking. And that is the way that we'll gain more energy, more strength than we had originally. Our mind needs to be continually looking for the way forward. And that certainly is a way forward.
For anyone that wants to come on the program, just go in the live chat and click on at the top where it says Joe and Fran Garino, the HTTPS. That'll bring you on StreamYard. Just turn off your YouTube channel so we don't get a echo. And we'd love to have more folks come on. Seth, Felicia, did you want to say something to either Stephanie or Will or to the audience?
We are just so glad to be part of as what was called a movement again. This is something that is and we always focus on, again, the negative. We're so happy to focus on the positive and moving forward and growing. Lots of tears, like Fallen said. I mean, we cry all the time. We're big babies, to be honest. We're big babies, but we
I
cry
don't think
all the
you're
time.
big babies. I think
Well,
that this is just
I'm
so
getting bigger.
traumatic and horrible that that's why we
Right.
cry.
And it's true. That is very
You
true.
know,
There's reason for it.
a man can cry. It's okay.
Oh,
There-
absolutely.
There's reason for it. There's good reason
Yeah,
for it.
I just got off the phone with Joe, and he went in the other room, and we bawled together, right, Joe? I'm just kidding. No, but it's trauma, but moving forward and being with this group of people, and not only all of us didn't stop at ourselves. That's the most beautiful part. All of us on this screen and in the comments and watching, we are helping others.
Yeah.
That's our goal, is to help others.
Well,
And I
look,
think
there are others that are watching now, and they're seeing the way clear for them too.
yes,
They're seeing
yeah.
that there's a place for them, and that's
We're
what
getting
doing.
through the clouds, getting through the fog, and you're beginning to see daylight, and that's a beautiful thing. That's all I had to say.
Appreciate y'all being here.
Yeah, love having this team. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mary Flowers wants to come on. I know she had an experience how to deal with anger, because we're sticking with that topic. How are we going? We're angry. Mary, welcome.
Welcome, Mary.
Thank you.
It's the first time for you on stage, so we appreciate you coming.
You can hear me, right?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. All right, good. Yes, I've really been enjoying hearing everyone's expressions. It's very, very positive, and it is very inspirational. So what I wanted to say about anger is that I went through a very, very difficult situation in the organization, very traumatic, and I did get therapy. I did have to go to therapy, and one of the things that I really learned and I really appreciated was when I just got, it was, I really kind of had a mental break with the situation that I experienced. And I thought before that I was just the calmest person, that I just didn't have it. You just couldn't make me angry. Maybe you could make me sad, but not angry. But I just had rage over what happened. And when I went to the therapist and expressed that, she said that's fine, and you need to have an outlet for it. And for me, I just wanted, there was like this one weekend where things kind of came to a head, and I just wanted to hear the sound of glass shattering. And I got a YouTube video, and you can find videos like that, or, audio files where it's just a bunch of breaking glass. Well, it wasn't quite enough, because I wanted to break some myself. So I was throwing some wine glasses on the wall. And anyway, well, she just really helped me to appreciate that was the normal thing to do, and you have to get the anger out. You should not suppress it. So I just found a safe way to do it, because my husband, he said he wasn't going to clean up my glass anymore. So he did for a while, and he's like, I'm not cleaning that up anymore. And I didn't want to do it either. So I started, I broke some glass, like in my recycle container. I hit it with a hammer. We had to end up moving, and we were throwing away a lot of stuff. We had a big dumpster, and I was breaking my dishes in the dumpster. But I guess I would say, I'm just saying that what I appreciated most was being told that it was okay, because as a witness, you're supposed to suppress it, and you're not supposed to let the sun set with you in a provoked state.
Mhm.
And just to survive emotionally what my husband and I went through, I just could not apply the information as it had been presented to me. I just could not, and it was very difficult to be so challenged to say, I can't do that. So I recommend therapy, and I do recommend and not feel guilty about being angry. And then once I got out of the situation, I wanted to also mention that I don't feel that way anymore. As soon as I moved, all that I have never felt like smashing glass again.
Beautiful, beautiful.
That's such a great
Beautiful.
illustration.
You know,
Yeah.
Mary, you just as the society presented such unrealistic guidance for humans that just was not effective for us. It was defective for us. The opposite of that is true. There is such powerfully effective, beneficial direction for our being humans. There is. It's there. It's just,
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say on that note, part of my journey in the last few years, learning how to set some of that anger down, because when you're holding on to it and don't even know it, it numbs everything. It's all in the Eastern medicines, you carry your anger in your lower back a bit. So when you have lower back issues, sometimes it's because of that. That kind of hit home with me just because I got an old injury in my lower back. So my back is a problem sometimes. But I did notice when I was angry that did act up more.
Yeah.
But also that the anger it did help focus me quite a bit when I was in the military. You know, it was useful for that, but because it numbs all the other emotions. That's what the aggression does to you.
Yeah.
And when I started putting some of those burdens down, I started seeing hope and possibility and beauty in the world that I hadn't really noticed before. Like seeing some buskers sing in London and whatnot, and seeing some of these people, how they inspired other people to perform in a way that just brought beauty and grace into the world. And scenes like that now, where before I would see it and couldn't see the value, which I couldn't understand the emotions, but now sometimes it'll, put tears in my eyes. And it's putting that anger down is one of the things that can help you see the good side and the possibility in the world. Anyway, that's
Just another point,
Yeah,
Will. In
thank
your
you,
book, you were talking about how you went through PTSD and
Yes,
how
ma'am.
you changed it to PT growth.
Yeah, PTG, post-traumatic growth.
PT
Yes, ma'am.
PTG, growth. So you changed it. So that was really helpful. And you went through a whole course to get there. But
Other people have been showing each other the way throughout the course of human history. There's really no new information there. It's like you've said, all of us coming together and sharing what knowledge we have.
Yeah.
And it coming together like this, and look at what
let's be really, really confident with this point. There are those that know that if you cheat people, if you keep knowledge away from people, you weaken and suppress them, and you can control them if you keep knowledge away. Well, the opposite of that is true. If we immerse ourselves and avail ourselves to knowledge, the power is there. And see, that's why they do that to us, because they really are afraid of our power. So we have to discover our power. The only way you discover our power is by knowledge. So anything that seeks to limit our intake of knowledge is our enemy. It hates us.
Yeah.
And it's so true, the statement in the Bible that said that for lack of knowledge, my people will suffer. And this is everything that we've seen. Well, the opposite is true. For the abundance of knowledge, our power just increases.
But that just Joe we were talking today, and I had never heard it, and I don't know if you came up with it or you heard it. What happened in the garden?
Well, I mean, geez.
And how does it relate to
I always thought it was
education?
kind of interesting that in the garden, Adam was basically forbidden to eat of the tree, a fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and bad. My goodness, if we had the knowledge of good and bad, we would avoid bad. But without knowing about it, we're susceptible to being tricked. And that's exactly what we were tricked. Let me tell you. if you don't realize yet that we were scammed
Mhm.
and tricked by someone who had
Right.
superior knowledge, we were scammed and tricked.
And then bring it to modern times about the announcement that was just made. Now you can get additional education.
Yeah.
So first they say, don't eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and bad. Now you can go and have
Oh, and see,
additional
and
education.
think the governing body were the ones too that restricted education
Right.
and knowledge.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah, when you good, sorry.
yeah, go ahead, Will.
I was going to say, yeah, to build on or to kind of agree with you a bit on that one analysis of it. One translation way to translate the tree of knowledge of good and evil is the tree of knowledge of everything, right? It wasn't. That's probably a more accurate way to translate it. And so you have them in the garden, right? The walled garden, paradise, and they're in the process of naming their world, figuring out their world, right? So they're still naive. Then they take in all this knowledge without the life experience or context to know how to place it, how to name it properly. And then of course their naiveness ends up being stripped away, and that you can't re-enter paradise when you're no longer naive. That naiveness of lack of knowledge of reality, right? And that's yeah.
We have so much. We were lied to on so many levels, and that's probably the most powerful thing for a person to accept.
Yes.
Which is why some people do not accept it, because it's too powerful for them. But we were lied to on so many levels. And the deeper the level that we find out that we were lied to, the more we gain our power.
Sorry.
Hi, Dakota.
We want to welcome Matthew.
It's almost time for him to go to bed.
Yeah.
I was just going to add in there
Yeah, go ahead.
about the college thing. That actually, I learned something about myself when that came out. How angry that I
There's
got
a
talking
lot
about
of
anger.
angry
I
people
was
about that.
so angry
There's a
because
lot
I
of
was
anger.
so chastised from every bit of me.
Yeah.
Every bit of me was chastised because I just had a thought, because I wanted to be in TV. I wanted to work in television and pursue that more. And that was shot down so quick. Oh man, the anger I felt when they made that announcement.
So Seth, what if someone looked at you and said, "Who told you you didn't have to, or you couldn't do that?" Who
Well, that's
told
actually
you?
happening right now. We're in a
Yeah,
conversation
well,
with a
exactly.
family member.
In other words, the person that prevented you from that was the bad guy,
Right.
The one who was confronting you, who said, "Who told you?" was trying to make you realize, don't listen.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm
See, and
telling you,
that's
we were
the
lied to on the deepest levels.
deepest level, and that's the hard thing is admitting that you were lied to for
Yes.
one, but actually exposing the lies within yourself and like, oh, that's a lie. Oh, that's a lie. Oh, that's a lie too, and then experiencing what we felt was normal. That can cause a lot of anger and heartbreak too. But yeah, it's something
Thank you,
that
Seth.
one got me.
Yes, thank you. We want to say hello to Matthew and Gail.
Hi.
Hi, Gail. Hi,
Gail.
Matthew.
Hi, Matthew.
Hello. Good to be with you.
Good
Thank
to
you.
have you. Yeah. What's on your mind?
Well, I appreciated Gail's input the last time we spoke. I don't know if you can hear me. Am I coming through clearly?
Well.
Yep, and I have more to add.
That's why you're here, Gail.
Who wants to go first?
Yeah.
Matthew, or do you want me to say something?
Real quick, guys, I've got to jump off, so I apologize for interrupting. But
Good night, Will.
Keep
Good
up
night,
the-
Will.
I just want to say, looking forward to working with everybody, and love to everyone. And yeah, y'all have a great night.
Thank you.
Amar Fati.
Yes.
Thanks, Will.
Love you. Thank you, Will.
Good night, Will.
Gail, if you're not inhibited in any way, I'd like to hear from you if that's all right. But I don't want to also I don't want to force you either.
I just wanted to add about anger because I was in the mental health field, and you know, anger to me is a part of a grieving process, and I think everyone gets angry. But when you hold it in, and it affected me physically, and it affected my mental health, where I ended up with pneumonia. And I also, with that anger, I felt betrayed by God more than anybody, more than the organization and my own sister. But which cracked me up about myself, working in a halfway house with females ranging from the age of 12 to 18 who were horrifically abused in different ways. And I had the tools to teach them instead of taking it out on yourself and harming yourself, because we had a couple of cutters and others that did other things to relieve their anger. We had a boxing, what do you call it, punching bag. And we had them go down and punch the bag to get all the anger out. And here I am, I have the tools, but did I apply them to myself? No. So I learned as I went on, because I couldn't handle the betrayal more than the anger. And I started getting sick because my lungs are my weak part of my body, and that's where why I got pneumonia. Well, anyway, I started journaling, and I was taught to journal when I was at work, and journaling really, really works. And so I did a lot of journaling. I did a lot of anger, and I started getting sick because why is that? Was that me again?
No, go ahead.
No.
You're good. You're good, Gail.
Anyway, you're saying.
I started journaling.
Dakota just wanted to say goodnight.
Oh,
good
to
night,
who?
Dakota.
Dakota.
Oh, good night,
You want to
sweetie.
tell everyone good night, Coco? Say good
Good night,
night.
Coco.
Good night.
Bye.
I love you.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
And I
We
wanted
love
to say,
you.
I really liked what Mary had to say. Good night, Dakota.
Love
Good night,
you.
sweetie.
Good night.
Bye. So I liked what Mary had to say too, but it took me quite a while to get over the anger, and it can really consume you mentally and physically. And I think we're all on the road to recovery. I firmly believe that it's a journey, and we're not only here to help others, but we're here to help ourselves.
That's right.
And get an education. I mean, I'm getting an education every time I'm on the show, and we share information, and the support for one another is astounding to me, because you didn't get that support at the Kingdom Hall.
No.
So I just wanted to say, I really firmly believe, keep yourself busy, take up a hobby, call up a friend, exercise, punch your pillow if you have to, instead of hurting yourself. I think we need to release it in healthy ways, which
That's so good. Suggestions, Gail. Thank you.
well, thank you. But it took me a while to get over it, and I should have known better, because I had the tools in hand. How can I be teaching kids how to deal with the anger when I couldn't deal with it myself? So it was a learning experience, but you can't let them know that you're going through anything like that, because you have to be the quote great good role model for them. So it was an experience, and it taught me well. It taught me a lot about myself too, which is interesting. I think when you go through this, you take a look at yourself and you say, what could I learn from this? What did I learn from this? And how did I get bamboozled by these people? That's something I have to work on myself, because I think we probably all experience that, how did we get hooked in by these people? And
I know why I did.
And what can we do to not let it happen again? And when I heard today, it was powerful. If we're critical thinkers, then nobody can hurt us. Be a critical thinker, stick up for yourself, so nobody can get in your head again, like they're trying to do with the government, with this MK Ultra crap that's going on.
Yeah.
So be strong and positive, and whatever you use for your higher power, do it. Whichever's going to work, let it work.
Gail,
And don't take it out on yourself.
Thank you, Gail. And this is where I have to interject
Go ahead.
the theme, which says, no, I'm not interested. We heard that so many times.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of us heard that so many times. And now we reflect back on that.
Mm-hmm.
And what do we know about that? That was so powerful. That was something that we didn't apply. That was something we didn't apply. That's something we have to learn.
Mm-hmm.
When someone offers something that just doesn't sound right, No, I'm not interested.
Yeah, sounds too good to be
You
true.
know, and see, they
Yeah.
had that. We didn't.
Oh yeah, they got a good, powerful message, don't they?
Yeah. I have to learn, take a lesson from the people at the door, the ones that avoided what I didn't.
Yeah.
I used
That's a
to
lesson
wonder.
in humility. But
What's that,
I
Mary?
used to wonder how everyone came up with that same phrase when I would go. Like, I'm like, is that the only thing there is to say? I'm not interested. And now yes, I totally agree. That's what we should say.
that's universally powerful.
Yeah, throw it right back at them.
Yeah. And don't hesitate to slam the door.
I had one lady slam the door so hard I thought the door was going to fall apart. I literally did. Oh my God.
She probably felt good after that, though.
Yes. Yeah. I should go back and thank her.
There's a lesson in there. She probably felt good for doing that, too.
We want to say, I'm sorry, Matthew. Hang in there, Gail. And then.
Oh, no, I'm not saying anything.
No,
Well,
you're okay.
thanks
Hi,
for that,
Pasta
Fran.
Dude.
Hello, Pasta Dude.
Yeah, Pasta Dude, if you can hang on just a second. Do you have a minute? Okay. Matthew was first.
Well, thank you, Fran and Joe and everybody, actually. I really appreciate it. And Gail, thanks for opening up with all that.
Oh, you're welcome, Matthew. My pleasure.
I got my confession, Fran and Joe. I had a couple of incidents where my escape route was blocked.
Oh dear.
So I think you know what that means.
We hate that.
Trying to get out, and you know that it's an emotional.
No, fight or flight.
Yeah, and I've got some real bad guys that are in denial, and the gaslighting thing is happening because it's like, no, Matt, you're the rude person. You're the person that's attacking here, and I'm going, no, I back down. I'm not. But what's happening is getting spoken over. Guys that are. Is my connection working?
No, you're okay.
Well, he's hearing.
I think a Pasta Dude. Yeah. When you come on a Pasta Dude, if you can turn off your devices and you're just going to be on StreamYard. Okay.
So I think it's very important to know what your escape route is, and to look for it, and try and aim for it, because I can't always successfully do that.
Oh no, that's right.
And they are deliberately doing that so that it deflects, and I'm the crazy guy, you see. I'm the dangerous person, and I know that strategy. Yeah. And it's making it worse. And I've had a couple of situations where I've been able to get out of the room. I don't get into abusive language or anything like that. That doesn't happen. But I will lose my voice, or even my eyesight clouds over. Yeah. And I will manage to get out the room. And what happens is the inner brain kicks in, and I scream. Yeah. I just scream. Yeah. No words come out. Yeah. And I'm just screaming, and I can't because it's been suppressed for so long. That's my confession. And I go, is that a confession, or that is just...
That's more than a confession.
The human reaction that occurs because it's happened for so long.
No, I think that's more of a powerful insight. That's what I think. Look, I mean, we're all looking for that next emotion, because we get stuck on a certain emotion. There's a next logical emotion, and we're in line for it. We are all in line for that next emotion, and boy, that's the discovery that we all have to make. I mean, I'm in the same position myself. I ask myself sometimes, do I always have to do such and such when I'm in this situation? It's a frustration. I don't want to have to always lapse into this reaction. I want the next step. I want the next reaction.
Yeah, and that's that growth. That's that.
That takes time. Man, that takes time.
The interesting thing is I've always maintained control. It's not like I'm going to get physical or something like that. But the yell is blood curdling. I have to get to another room and I have to take a pillow, and I've had that happen twice.
Yeah.
And I'll just go, well, I believe that's just a little bit of hypoxia, a little bit of underlying conditions, but it's that built up trauma that's come in, especially if it's like a reversal. We don't believe you about this guy who's not a bad guy, but he is. He really is controlling things, and he's built up his network to
well, it's clear that
himself.
It's clear that you haven't caved into their what they maintain. Right. You haven't caved into it.
But I know that personally. You see, I know. Would I have ever reacted like violently or something like that? No, that isn't there. What it is it's a suppression of voice.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if that makes some sort of sense.
Well,
but I can also see that if you have, like in Hamburg, Germany, where you've got somebody who has got mental breakdown, where maybe a pathological thing has taken over, or there is actually physical damage or something like this.
Yeah.
Essentially, the community has created such a toxic environment.
Oh, it has been terribly toxic, horribly toxic. Look, it takes time. Look, I give everybody so much credit for even wanting to deal with this. It is, look, no one likes cleaning up a filthy mess.
No.
Unfortunately, that's what the society has done for humanity. They've made a filthy mess. And all I want to do is be part of helping clean it up. I really do.
Well, thanks very much for listening
Thank
to that.
you.
And Apostle Dude, thanks for holding back. I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you,
Oh,
Matthew.
happy
Thank you,
thoughts.
Matthew. Thanks,
Wait a minute.
Matthew.
Happy Thoughts has a message for Matthew. Matthew, as you know, you are being attacked by dark forces far stronger than we can deal with, but there's a higher power that helps us. I find that I have to listen to that before I can move on. So thank you, Happy Thoughts. Apostle Dude, I know you've been having some technical difficulties.
Yeah, give it a try, Apostle
And
Dude.
Marissa, hang in there, and Dallas, hang in there. We'll get to you. Okay, Apostle Dude.
Well, I'm not hearing everybody very well, and for a minute there, every time I was on, I couldn't hear anything.
You're coming through
And so I was trying to do the YouTube where I can hear it, and then try to get on the thing. And so, enough said. I'm struggling with tech.
No, we
But
can
about
hear
this
you.
anger
You're
thing.
doing good. You're doing good.
loud and clear.
Okay, I'm
yeah,
glad
did you
you
have
can hear me. I'm still struggling. It's a little choppy on the other.
Okay. Well,
it's
Go ahead.
did you want to say anything about anger management?
Oh, I know. Yeah, I think I heard the word anger. I was going to comment on that. I've got, boy, I'll tell you. Well, let me just relate it to this movie I use for many parts of life, Braveheart with Mel Gibson.
Oh, yeah.
If you've seen the movie, and one of the things Sarah brought out early in the show, because I've been listening off and on, Sarah said, if you have room, and that's the idea in the movie. After they killed all of his immediate family, he was taken away with Uncle Argyle, who was part of the traditions. He was probably a Jesuit, by the way. But anyway, he's part of the traditions of the Catholic Church. And he came back from a long stay, grew up far away, and came back to the village. And all he wanted to do was try to get along with these tyrant English. And then, his wife gets killed, and it's like Popeye, the cartoon. That's all I can stands. I can't stands no more. So, there is a place for anger, but it's not good for you.
No.
And it's just one of the things we get stuck with. Now, myself, I think I've been left alone because, and as much as I've talked at length with Joe and Fran and some other people, I have said this, and believe me, it's true. I haven't scratched the surface of how much they've screwed me. And it's not me that I worry about. It's the people I love.
Yeah.
I watch this happen to the people I love.
They know that.
And I'm telling you, they know a lot of this stuff, these local elders. And if they push my buttons, they might not know what they're going to get. And so, but I will say this to my credit, and I'm not trying to, a lot of people would have snapped with what I've been through. That's the story. And I'm holding back on a channel, laying it all out, and it would be negative. There's no way around it. To tell the truth, and that's the thing about helping people see that they're not alone is, hey, I've heard a lot of dreadful stories, and I'm sitting there the whole time going, I'm not alone, but my story is up there with the worst of them. So not to, there's no credit to that. I just, like I said to my wife when I was waking up and figuring out, I said, I would actually tell you that it's all worth it, but it's gotta be the truth, and then when you're seeing the evidence that it's anything but, and then the deeper you look, you can get angrier, but I kind of gotten past that. If they leave me alone, I think I'll be okay, but I can't promise anybody. I need to tell you, man, they better not trip my wire. And I don't like that. I don't like telling you that, but it's just what I feel like. I'm on guard. I'm trying to survive. And I've been told, some other things. I worked with some therapists, and they gave me that technique where you write this stuff down and then you burn the paper. And I did that about some other things, and I didn't even deal with that guy about the religion. There's some other stuff in my childhood. So anyway, I don't want to take up the whole show, but yeah, great subject and very important. And the most important thing is, like Sarah was saying, if you have space, and there is some space there, you can find space. As long as you can find space to pursue peace and get equilibrium, do it. And I want to refer to one other thing, and I don't know if anybody referred to it. There's a book out called Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. So some healing techniques that are very important is to know that everything you've been through, every traumatic thing is registered. It's registered in your cells. It's registered in your tissues. And people get diseases, and believe me, many witnesses have that cognitive stuff going on. And our coordinator locally suffers from autoimmune disease. And I'm telling you, what I know about that guy, the religion's doing it to him. So this is all important, healthy stuff to learn about. And people like Sarah and the things that she pursues. And Seth, by the way, congratulations if you're out there listening. Great to know you got a channel and you got the right idea. Positive stuff. And I try to do that. And nobody knows all my dreadful story because of that. I don't want people to feel what I've been through.
That is a challenge there, Apostle Dude. That is the hardest thing, is defining that balance on how to expose the bad, vile things we've been through, how to expose the wickedness and the lies, but yet stay positive, stay helpful, show that love. Finding that balance, that's going to be our biggest struggle doing this, the channel there. But yeah, listening to what you've been going through, that it's a balance, and that finding that's going to be difficult for us, and it's difficult for all of us. Really, it really is.
I have to bank on
just one thought. What I'm saying is, if you have the space, you owe it to yourself and the people you love to get as serene and balanced as you can, and fight for it. I think that's very important, because they further victimize you with the reality of who they are, So
I have a couple of positive points.
Please.
I had a list of also some other things that kind of helped me deal with that situation, and some of them I thought were a little challenging, but so I just wanted to share a couple of them. One of it was focus points to dealing with if you've been traumatized. So we were all talking about trauma, but one is disidentify with those who do not have your back but should. I thought that one was really good, but it's because you think that those people would have your back, but as we are discussing, many times they don't. Then it said, associate with people who are compelled by truth. And you think you're in the truth, but then you find out they can't handle the truth, right? But there, it says, break contact and cease dialogue with those who are incapable of acknowledging what they have done forever. Like just cease. You have to, if you want to get better, if you want to get over your anger, those are things that you have to get out of the environment. It says, be a member of a community where emotional, perverse interactions are unacceptable, and reach out to others who have suffered the same. Don't be injured. Be angry. Don't be injured. So it's not talking about taking revenge, but not wasting any time with that. But it's okay. It is okay to be angry. But here's like in this group, it's like that's what you're reaching out to others who have suffered the same, that there is benefit in that also.
Thank you, Mary.
That's so helpful. Thank you, Mary.
Very helpful.
Thank you.
Can I make a point about our brains, which I learned from experience and the field I was in?
Gail, hang on, Gail.
Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Marissa's been waiting a while.
Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't see. Sorry.
All right. Debbie just came on in Dallas.
Hi,
So
Debbie.
hang on to that thought about the brain.
We've got a lineup here.
Okay, Marissa.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. Great.
I was actually when Gail was talking earlier, she mentioned something that triggered a memory about journaling and how that helped with grieving, and it reminded me of when I was in therapy and encouraged to journal. It was not helping. It was making me angrier. And I was young and I didn't understand. And so I went to the therapist and she said, well, why don't you share some of what you're writing down? Well, I was writing down everything that was making me angry. So I was getting angry. So I didn't understand, like I think Seth mentioned earlier, there's a balance between, of course, letting out what makes us angry. We have legitimate reasons. Many of us are being shunned. People have been, abused. But then we also want to balance that out with what we're grateful for, and really actively looking for things that we're grateful for and journaling about them, because that will help with some of the anger. And I think a pasta dude mentioned earlier that a lot of witnesses have illnesses, autoimmune, and most of us probably know pretty much everybody in my life was sick one way or another that had been a witness for many years, whether it was autoimmune, something. And so we want to be healthy and happy and positive, right? That's the hope once we wake up. And for me, the other issue too I wanted to bring up was, I think it was Mary that was talking about some helpful tips. I noticed for me what made me angry a lot in the organization was incongruence. I don't know if anybody knows what that is, but it's when there's conflicting information, often in the same sentence. And I was a note taker at all the meetings, and I'd like, did he just say this and then say this? It's the opposite. And I'd get so flustered, and I would tell Kevin, and he'd just look at me like, what are you talking about? Because he was ignoring everything. So it's really important that we surround ourselves with people who share our similar values and then are not incongruent if anger is something we struggle with. At least those have been tips that have helped me. So that's all I wanted to share.
Thank you. Thank you, Marissa.
Great.
Debbie and Dallas. Dallas first. Dallas was here first. Thank you.
Good to see you, Dallas.
Dallas, hi.
Well, I just had to share. I get those thoughts of wrath myself, and it's many kinds, such as mainly at that cold and how they wronged us, and so many in it that I love so dearly, and it's sad to see them oppress And I'm so furious at Nicole. I have said every cuss at it and said every cuss word under the sun against it.
Yeah, I do too, Dallas.
Thanks, Dallas. Thank you.
I do too, Dallas.
I really appreciate hearing that.
and sometimes it's tempting to just use it anywhere, but I better not with y'all here.
Well, I understand. You're not alone, Dallas. You are not
And
alone.
it might be a wrong way with y'all here with my.
Don't worry, Dallas. Dan's here, and Dan knows how to use cuss words.
I do.
Okay. Thank you, Dallas, for coming on. Debbie.
Well, hi there, Deb.
Hi, Debbie.
Hey.
Can you hear
And
me?
hi, Dan and Angel.
What are you showing us, Debbie?
Well, heck. Tyler just unplugged my phone.
Okay.
Set it on charge.
We can
Can
hear
you hear
you.
me?
We can hear you and see you too.
You can? Okay. Well, I'm plugging my darn it. Little brat tat, I swear.
Yeah.
Dallas, if it makes you feel any better, I've used every cuss word under the sun, and I've even invented some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
I understand how you feel.
Hey, Dallas. Fuck motherfucking shit, Cole. Right?
I don't even know what she said.
Every hole I go by, if I go by any, it's gonna get this right here. That.
Yeah, I said fuck that motherfucking ass Cole.
Jeez.
I say what I say is fuck Witch Tower.
All right.
Fuck Watchtower.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
That's enough.
Well, maybe you
We
two
can all
get,
cuss, but
well,
Okay,
probably not
sorry,
on
Gail.
YouTube.
Maybe you two can get together privately.
Really? Get off, get off the stage and swear at each other.
It's because we all got our grievances here.
Can I just say something because I got to get going?
Gail.
As far as the journaling goes, Marissa, I put my diary away, and I was in a fire and all this stuff. I had a lot of things happen to me, and I lost everything in the fire. And then, of course, I was angry at my sister and whatever. I journaled. I put it away, and every now and then I'll look at it. And when I look at it, I discover just how far I've come and how bad I was at the time. But I wanted to talk about our mind. Our mind is like a storage unit. All events and trauma that happens to us is stored in our brains. And sometimes there'll be a trigger that'll trigger something in you. And even though you think you've conquered it, I had a trigger this morning about my younger sister. She called my other sister, and all she did was inquire about me. And my sister, why don't you call yourself? But she won't call me. And that was a trigger to me because my anger that I had worse was towards her. So all the stuff that was stored from her came out. And I thought I got rid of it, but your brain unfortunately stores everything. And another thing I just wanted to add, it's like a diet. And I learned in the field I was working at, you replace the anger with something positive. All right, like you're on a diet. Instead of eating the donut, you replace it for a bagel. Or instead of having that cake, you replace it for a piece of fruit. So it's the same with the line of thinking. If you got stinking thinking, they would call it, you try to change your thoughts, keep yourself busy, go for a walk or whatever to get your mind off that stinking thinking. And it works. It takes a lot of practice, but it works. But that's what I wanted to have to say about our brains and how we store things that are happy and not so happy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can I say something? My phone is going to be dying in a minute
Debbie.
now.
Go, Debbie. Go.
I wrote in the comments that depression is anger turned inward.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's truly what it is. And when I've done some very bad things when I was angry, but I was also severely depressed at the same time. And I've had many years of therapy. But that book he was talking about a minute ago, Feelings Buried Alive Never Die, I've had that book probably for 10 years. And well, ever since it came out in print, I don't know when that was, but I looked up lupus because I had lupus, and it's an autoimmune disease, as is diabetes, and it's where the body kills itself, and that's how my depression turned inward on me. In like Gail was talking about getting sick. Okay, I got that really young. I was sick most of my life. And I do believe most of it is because I never could balance it in my head from the time I was 4 or 5 years old. I had questions on how that could be through religion. How could a loving God kill everybody just because they weren't a witness? Why could I not have any friends other than Jehovah's Witnesses? Because Mama said Job was going to kill them, and they hadn't done anything wrong. And I fought with that on the inside all my life. And then what I went through pretty young with sexual abuse. And of course, that made me hate myself even more because the way the elders handled it, what did you do to make them want to rape you? And then all the probing, disgusting questions they have no freaking business asking that they go. In fact, I'm getting mad thinking about it now. But I'm just saying that what it can, what the anger against the Watchtower Society and being a witness can do to you will slowly kill you. And I'm a prime example of that because my body is constantly trying to kill me. I mean, I just got out of the hospital. I almost died in February from sepsis. And then this past week, I got it again. But fortunately, this time we caught it before it nearly killed me. But it's still, every time I get sick like that, it takes a little bit of more of my life away from me. And now I'm in assisted living because I can't manage on my own physically anymore. So I think a lot of that is from the anger and the betrayal and all of the things that have happened against me, and the way I coped with it was turning it on myself without even realizing that I was killing myself.
Debbie, if I can say something in your defense, because we know how sick you have been and the everything that you've gone through. But Debbie will ask me for whose birthday is it? Who can I send a card to? Here Debbie has been going through so much in the hospital and she's thinking of other people. So I think that is really a good antidote for the anger that you're doing, because you're not just angry, you look for people to cheer up. You're in assisted living and you have helped people there, not only the patients that are there but the workers that are there, and you have had such a profound what's the word, influence effect on the people there. So I am in defense of you, Debbie. I love you. We love you. And what you're standing for, what you've gone through, and what you do. So you just hang in there.
Thank you.
We love
Thank you. I do feel like I am finally my authentic self.
Yep.
I'm not in any abusive relation. Well, I'm not in any. Nobody's actually. Go ahead, John.
I think every one of us is going to have to do exactly like you, Debbie, and that's fight for it.
Right.
To fight to be your authentic self.
Yep, that's right. It's a fight.
Every one of us is realizing that. That's what I can see. That's what I can say.
Well, my authentic self is that I do truly love other people, and I care about them and how they feel and what they're going through. And I am an empath, which makes things a lot harder sometimes because I do pick up on anybody's that I walk by. I'm like, oh my gosh, what are they? And even at the doctor's offices, a lot of the nurses, I can tell immediately that they're going through something. And I'll ask them, how are they doing? And they'll say, fine. I said, okay, now how are you really doing? And they'll tell me. And I mean, it's weird, but it's hard, but it's also satisfying to be able to have people talk to me and tell me how they feel, as long as I don't absorb that myself, which is very difficult because I want to help everybody.
Oh,
You know.
Seth,
Thank you,
Can I say
Debbie.
something?
Love you, Dad.
Can I say something to Debbie before she goes?
yes. Yeah, go ahead,
Okay.
Angela.
So, Debbie, it's kind of funny, but I just put out on a video today about the incredible release that you get from writing a story, writing your story in a book form. And it's not really necessarily that you're telling your whole entire story for everyone else, but it's cathartic. They say cathartic, and that just means that it's like therapeutic, it's healing, it's purging, it's releasing by doing this writing. And so you do it for yourself, but you end up realizing that many other people have maybe could relate to it and be helped by it. And so it ends up being for others too, but you do it for you. Dan, I remember when he told me 20 years ago, Angela, I've always wanted to write a book. And I said, well, why don't you? And he said, well, I wanted to, and then I chickened out years ago. But I'm like, okay, well, let's do it. So we began the process, found this great company. And then Dan says, Angela, just throw that in the trash. No one's going to care about my stupid story. And I said, no, Dan, this is really, really good. And it's going to help a lot of people. But he just bared everything in that book, Eyewitness, the shocking insider story of Jehovah's Witnesses. And he really, really put it all out there. And then it shows the journey that Dan was given on to fight his way out of the witnesses and how God kind of went about that. It's a beautiful, beautiful story. It really raw. And but anyway, the Arbor book who took the story on, they couldn't wait till the next chapter, and they'd all just be cheering in the office like, "Yay, Dan, go, Dan!" And and I just think your story is so compelling, Debbie. And I think I really think that what I've heard your story that you should really, really need to put it down. And I hope that you will. And I want to talk to you about the way that you can do that really, really easily and cheaply. And I'll help you. But I really would like to see you write your story. It's very, very healing. And it's one way that we can deal with the emotions. And you know what, Debbie, you know what else too? I would start saying every day, God is healing me and I'm in perfect health. And I would say that every day, all day, and see it come about and write your story. Get it all out. It's purge all of it and get it all out. And I just want to encourage you to do that. And I want you to know I miss you. I love you. I miss hearing you on different places. And I'm so glad to hear you tonight. And I hope that you get better really, really soon.
Thank you. I need to hear that. And you were talking about my cat has to be the center. Skylar, move.
Oh
He's
my
still
God.
Skylar,
He's an animal.
I'm not looking down on my phone to try to see anything. But funny you should say about, saying that every day. When I was 58 and I'm 64 now, and I still use the same email because I thought if I said it enough, it would happen. And my email is happy and healthy at 58@gmail.com. So I got the happy part down. The healthy part just doesn't seem to want to come.
That's okay. Just keep saying it, Debbie. And just keep putting a smile on your face as you say it and just keep trusting God. And I'm telling you, it will turn around. It will turn around. Just keep saying it. No matter what.
Or the universe.
We got your email in the. I just sent it to
Yes.
Ruby, Debbie, and I know Seth and Felicia want to get in touch with you. I gave them your phone number. If anybody wants Debbie's number, I know we've put her address there before. She'll have you in stitches. I'm telling you.
Debbie, we just sent you. I sent you a text message. You and Felicia sound a lot alike, and you're not far away from us. Being in Nebraska, you're just a day trip away. You never know. We may have to stop in and see you sometime.
Okay, then you can come see me. No
That's right.
excuse. Nothing.
No
I don't
excuse.
get very many visitors.
All right. Well, our heart is with you.
Hey, Seth.
Thank you.
How can I do speakerphone?
Yeah.
One other thing. When we went to Nebraska to visit Debbie, she requested runzas. If you've never had a runza, they're only in Nebraska. RUNZA. You've got to stop and get some runzas. Yep.
Runza.
Yep.
I prefer the cheeseburgers over the runzas.
Okay. Cheeseburgers.
Well, we will not come empty-handed. We'll bring some sort of food.
Thank you. Dan and Angela, I know Dan had an experience, and we've got about 10 minutes left for others to chime in. But Dan, you were going through a time when you were very angry and you had someone to help you. You related it to us. Would you want to relate that to others here?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I was a Jehovah's Witness. I was married to my second wife for 17 years, and she was pretty much abused by me because I was angry and I didn't know why I was angry. I was just a ball of anger. And anyway, long story short, I got divorced. I came home one day and my wife was gone, kids were gone. And anyway, this lady friend of mine saw that I was very angry. And this is one of the things I want to say about healing is people are your mirror. If people tell you, hey, dude, you seem pretty angry, you might want to tune into that. Because I had anger at a pretty high level where I grew up, we just fought. I would attack a Bethelite in the hall. My buddies would throw a guy over the book counter, you know what I mean? Or I just had a friend of mine hit his mom accidentally, he really feels bad. I have another guy says he's waiting in the gates of hell to burn the motherfuckers, who's treated him bad. I mean, back east it gets a little strange, but we just handled things back there, and that's what was hard on me. We just handled things. People's jaws were broke, wired up. I mean, it was just like that. It was normal. But now, you'll go to jail or you'll go to prison, for these type things. So anyway, so I'm in this marriage. I didn't know where the anger was from, guys. Anger takes on a lot of different forms. You can feel betrayed from the organization, which I did. I felt more betrayed by my friend, who I said to him, I said, hey, did we just pass up a prophecy? And he gave me this look, and instantly I knew I was betrayed. Instantly I knew something was going on, but I didn't know what was going on, but he was going to write to society and tell them I was an apostate. And I really could have hurt that man. I had anger so bad that if somebody bumped me, I don't care if it was a woman or what, I'd throw out in traffic. I didn't care. No conscience. It was like anger can go to great depths. It can turn into hate. Hate can turn into murder. You can have a rage so heavy, and some people are looking for that. They live in that world. But this lady helped me. She one saw that I was getting angrier. And so I did that thing where you guys talked about earlier, the pillow thing where you beat the hell out of the pillow. And we went downstairs and she had this big old mattress. And she says, okay, here's what I want you to do. And she figured out that I was mad at my first wife. My first wife was a Catholic and I married outside the faith. I hadn't been baptized and I didn't want to get divorced. And I was like, you bitch, you ruined my life.
Because she wanted to get divorced.
Because my parents were never divorced. In our time, when you were divorced, you were white trash. You're a piece of shit. You got divorced, you were an armpit, you were a loser. So I said to myself, so I begged my wife, I was like, no, stay with me. And her mother was involved and she said, no, Dan's still a Jehovah's Witness. He don't do very good with birthdays. He don't do very good with Christmas. You guys are young, why don't you part? Let him work out his witness stuff, but you move on to my wife and live your life and then you'll both be happy. Well, I didn't want that. I was hanging on saying, please don't leave. And it wasn't anything to do with any abuse or anything like that. It was just, please don't leave. But it was probably the better thing to do, honestly. Well, anyway, she left. And somehow that rage set down in me and I projected it out. I don't know if people know what that means. You project anger on everybody else, but who deserves it. I was in churches yelling, screaming. I was everywhere I could go. I was looking for a fight. Everywhere I was going, I wanted to beat somebody. Everywhere I go, I just was looking to get my hands on somebody. And this lady knew it. But once we figured out it was my ex-wife that I was holding this anger in, she says, I want you to, knock hell out of this, mattress. She hands me a rubber bat. And I'm thinking, this is the stupidest thing that I've ever seen in my life. She goes, I'm going to go away. I'm going to go upstairs. And I want you to knock the hell out of your ex-wife. She's this mattress, And I thought, geez, this is crazy. And I was like, okay, you bitch, you know what I mean? And I start beating her,
Screaming.
screaming and yelling and crying and anger and and then finally I just dropped, guys. I just went, like this. And she came back down. The lady comes back downstairs and she said, did you knock hell out of her? I said, yeah. She said, can you forgive her? She was 17 years old or 18 years old, 20 maybe. I don't remember exactly. Probably 19. She says, can you forgive her? She was 19 years old. She was a kid. Can you blame her for wanting to move on? And I go, no, I can't blame her. It was probably the best thing to do. And guys, I lived in 17 years of anger, murderous anger, toxic anger, 17 years, and it was gone just like that. Because one, a lady had the balls and courage to tell me, you've got a problem with anger. She also told me I had a problem with drinking. She also told me that I was being a victim. She also told me you had some paranoia, all things that we have to transcend when we come out of there. And so because I listened, because I was vulnerable, I said, yeah, I don't know what this thing is I'm carrying, but guys, I would wake up in the morning and my dream was I was in prison and I went too far. I woke up morning after morning after morning. I was in prison because I really hurt somebody. And I didn't live like that. The minute I was done with that pillow, I truly did forgive her. I truly did realize, but it took that, sometimes it's a pen, writing it out. Sometimes it's journaling. Sometimes it's beating a pillow. And and the other one, crazily, was the F word. The lady says, I noticed you like that F word. She says, isn't it great relief? This was my mentor. She says, isn't it a great relief? I said, yeah, it's something about that word just gets something out of me. And so she said, let's say it together. It'll be fun. If you can imagine. And so she goes, let's say it. Let's call each other. Let's say F you. And I'll say F you. So we did this for about 30 minutes and we just laughed. And she said, boy, it just feels so good, don't it? And she goes, it's just a word, it's just an expression these days. It's not like, saying something else. But anyway, that was all healing, guys. And I transcended victimization. I transcended paranoia. I transcended alcohol. I haven't drank in 22 years. But we got to be willing to participate. The mirror is everybody else. If somebody says, hey, dude, you're a little angry. Hey, you're a little screwy. You're a little, we ought to tune into that because those are our angels. Those are people that really want to help us. It takes a lot of courage. I've told people, hey, man, you might want to take a look at that alcohol. And they tell me where to go. Do you think I want to be told where to go? Do you think I want to be told I'm a know-it-all? And, it's none of your damn business. Go to hell. But I've done that to about 3 people and I've lost them as friends. And I've tried to do it as tactful as I can. Hey, dude, if you want a decent wife, if you want to get your shit together, you want to put your life together, you want to figure out who you are, your purpose, you want to make a life successful, take a look at the alcohol, dude. Just take a look at it. Just go down to a 12-step, take a look at it. And they've left. But on the other hand, guys, I know time's short. I'm ending it here. Me and Angela have helped a lot of people become very successful. We've helped people write books. We've helped people start businesses. We've helped people have a beautiful life. Haven't we, Angela?
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful life. Change their whole life. Giving them trades. We're tradesmen. We've helped people get that trade. We have a training institute. We do all sorts of stuff, and our life is wonderful. And but anyway, just wanted to share that, guys. It changed my life. Just that little banging on the little mattress
And writing your story in a book.
and writing my story in a
That
book.
was like blood coming out of it.
Yeah, I
from
cried.
that.
I threw it away. I was writing it down.
Painful.
There's everything in there, guys. Prostitution, everything that I was involved with. It was a journey. It was like my life got good and then my life got bad. My life got good, my life got, and everyone's kind of like she said, was at the studio at the New York place saying they couldn't wait for the next chapter because he's doing good now. He's with escorts. Oh man, he's doing this. I was acting out my sex. God, whatever it was, I went through it. But I'm evidence that stuff can be behind you. You can have a beautiful. Look where we live, guys. Isn't it beautiful?
It is beautiful.
We're on the
Idaho.
Boise River. That's our little house out there. We sit and we have a nice life. We're ready to retire. And like Joe said earlier, it's hard to be an ex-witness and want to help because there's so much toxicity. There's a lot of angry people out there as well. and there's a lot of sick people out there, and it's hard to be around. We've continually walked away, and then we've kind of come back and wanted to contribute. And so anyway, guys, that's my time's up. So thank you
you.
guys.
Thank
Can
you,
I
Yes,
Dan.
sir.
Thank you,
I
Angela.
love you
can I
guys.
say one?
Absolutely,
Can I
guys.
say
Love you.
Love you.
Yeah, we want to make sure Ruby gets a chance
Ruby.
to. Yeah, because she's been waiting. Debbie, I know you want to say something. Ruby?
Hey, can you hear me? Does it sound good?
Yes, it
Yes.
sounds good.
Okay, I just wanted to give a funny story just to lighten up the mood because it was a lot of heavy energy, in my opinion. So I wanted to give just a little part of my story, part one. And the only reason why I can laugh about this, all right, I'm not minimizing trauma or anything. The reason why I can laugh about it is because I've healed from it and I've learned from it, all right? So we can laugh at ourselves once in a while. So before I had my mental breakdown, I did a hair removal on the top of my lip, right? And I used the cream, Nair cream, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I know never to use that on your face because I burned my face, right? So
Yes.
I'm giving you the context of what it looks like. Because not only was I sounding crazy, I looked crazy. So once I had my breakdown, instead of going maybe to like a therapist or something, I went straight to the hospital and said, "Yeah, I really want to end my life." And I think I regretted that later because they ask you some questions, right, at the hospital. They say, "Well, do you want to hurt anybody else? Do you have homicidal thoughts?" And I said, "You know what? I think I do. Yeah, I have a lot of people. I had a list." And I started naming all these people that I really wanted to hurt, right? So this is just a good example of don't wait until you're at that moment of blowing up to blow up. Take care of that anger before that because I didn't and I had to learn the hard way. Because after I gave my list, the nurse hit that little secret button under her desk and the whole hospital was lights going off and alarms
no.
and all the automatic doors were closing like
Oh
that.
my
no.
And I was like, what the heck is going on? She was like, it's okay. This is normal. We have to take your things from you. So just leave everything right there. And we're gonna direct you over here. I didn't know what was going on, so I was listening. Well, they did a whole lockdown and I lost my freedom. I was Baker acted for 3 days.
Wow.
And so, anyways, I just wanted to give you that part one of, a great example of don't wait until it's at that moment to blow up to do it because you're going to say things you regret later. You might do things that you regret later. Because I had to follow through with the doctor's plan and I couldn't leave the hospital until they were certain that I wouldn't hurt myself or hurt somebody else.
Right.
So maybe another night I can give you the part two because that's a whole
We're
story in
looking
itself.
forward to part two.
Yes. Thank you, Ruby.
Okay,
Yep.
real quick. My battery's at 6%,
Okay.
so
Okay,
my phone's
Debbie.
going. So I will kind of what I'm gonna say kind of goes along with what Ruby's talking about not waiting. When when my kids were little, I was suffering really bad depression, and I had tried to commit suicide before. And then it got so bad that one day I laid out pills for my kids, and I took about 400
Oh my God.
pills. And I told the kids, I don't know, well, I was completely batshit crazy, basically. I said, let's all take these pills and we're going to go to sleep. And when we wake up, everything's going to be perfect.
Wow.
We're not going to be upset. We're not going to be sick. Everything's going to be perfect. And they, of course, there was 4 witness families on my block, and they ran out the door screaming, "Mommy's trying to kill us." And one of the witnesses called 911, and then all I can remember is a lady coming in the house and said, "Why don't you, real sweet, why don't you come with me?" And and the thing is, when I did this, I got dressed up in a black shirt, black skirt, black shoes, and had my hair done, my makeup, everything, because I was planning to die right then, you know. And anyway, like all I remember is she said, "Can you step up?" And then I don't remember anything else. Then apparently I stepped into the, or they caught me into the ambulance, and I was in a coma.
Wow.
And they gave me a 2% chance of waking up from that coma. I don't know how they or why somebody didn't take my kids away from me that
Wow.
they did. And but I had to deal with depression and that memory of doing that also, you know. But I was really and I was full fledged going to the Kingdom Hall and everything, but didn't believe what I was being told. But I didn't want to get disfellowship because I needed my parents because I was a divorced young woman with two little kids and I was trying to make it, you know, and I needed them. And I knew that if I got disfellowship, what would me and my kids do, you know? And so if anybody is thinking about doing something like that, please call me because I totally know where you're coming from. With it's without judgment because I know how overwhelming the world can be. If you even if you're still a Jehovah's Witness and you're watching this, you can call me. I'm not gonna run and tell the elders on you. You don't have to worry about that. They just don't let it get to that point because forgiving yourself is way harder than forgiving other people.
That's the truth.
Yes.
Thank
So,
you so much,
and my
Debbie.
Thank
bet,
you, Debbie.
Hey,
I'm at
Debbie,
3%.
Thank
Yeah,
you, Debbie.
And we'll give your
could I
number
share
to
one last
anyone that
point?
wants it. Mhm.
go
Could I share
ahead.
one
Debbie,
last quick point?
Debbie.
Yeah, I just want to say, you know, most people that are angry don't know that it's a problem. I didn't. And I felt justified. And I know a whole lot of people that feel anger is normal and anger is justified. People think they were done wrong and, you know, it's justified, but it isn't to some degree. But I just want to say this. The thing that we have to do if we see somebody anger is we have to have the courage to speak to them and tell them that that's inappropriate or that's too far or this or that. People that we know that are angry, and that's what helped me. I couldn't catch myself in the middle of an anger thing. I thought it was normal. I thought it was justified. And everybody that I know that's angry, that's out there, that are mad, they feel that it's justified, they deserve it, they're boiling. So I would say, if you're close to somebody, if you know somebody that's angry, that's vicious, have the courage to say something to them. And that will be powerful. You are the mirror, especially if you know somebody. Say, hey, dude, you know, that's a bit rough. That's pretty heavy.
A little over the top.
And you'll help them. And that's how somebody helped me. And it was a very powerful lady, very clear lady, she wasn't afraid of nothing. But when she told me, it was so beautiful, and I was like, oh, that's not right. Anger's not right. So guys, we all got a part in this. There's people who are angry, there's people who are alcoholics. So whatever it is, I'm not just saying those
Thank you,
two.
Dan. Thank you.
Thank you
Dan.
guys. Thank you guys.
Thank you,
That's
Dan.
something we need to hear. Thank you.
And tonight's movie is The Sound of Music,
Wow.
the one from 1965.
I was there.
Yep, me too.
I watched that in middle school.
Did ya?
I was 13.
I'm sorry. I'm angry. I can't lie. I am an angry person because of after everything and like exposing like just I can't help but to be angry. But I feel like personally there's a time and place to be angry and that you have to control your anger. Personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with being angry, especially after I watched Inside Out. I think that all of our emotions, happiness, anger, jealousy, envy, I think that sadness is all okay and it's part of us and that there's a time and place for it.
Fallon, if you'd like to talk with Dan and Angela, they might be available, and also Debbie and Seth, and we can keep this conversation going. But right now, we're going to have to say good night. We love you. Thank you for all coming on. We had a wonderful program, and we hope to see you next week. and have a good protest, Seth and Felicia, this weekend. We love you. We will be there with you in spirit.
Thank you. We love it. We love it.
Keep living your lives
Good
with
night,
love.
everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Love
Y'all
you.
take
Thank
care.
you. Thank you
Y'all
all.
here.
Love
Y'all
you.
Good
think-
night.